I evolved from a young eagle and became a rice monster. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51. The Bear King died tragically, and the Bear Clan's reaction. At the same time, it was freezing and freezing. Bai Xuan was flying thousands of meters above the ground, with keen vision. He could see every move of the bear on the ground. He quickly found the Bear King, who was going to eat. 2nd and 8th level. Your talent is really high. Unexpectedly, this Bear King has already reached the 2nd level and 8th level, and his talent is indeed very high. Bai Xuan folded his wings, swooped down, and killed the Bear King as fast as lightning. The sharp eagle claws suddenly appeared with cold light, showing off their sharpness. Bai Xu's body is now at its maximum state point. With a swish sound, the sharp claws pierced the Bear King's neck, trying to twist it off. The Bear King let out a roar that echoed through the sky and stretched out his hand to grab at the back. How dare you attack me secretly? All the wild bears were alarmed and headed this way. Bai Xuan didn't talk nonsense. He increased his strength, and the eagle claws directly scratched the Bear King's cervical vertebrae. The huge body of the Bear King suddenly fell to the ground, and blood sprayed out like a fountain. He was killed by Bai Xuan so easily. Bai Xuan tore off the Bear King's neck and swallowed it in his stomach. The defense is indeed very high, and it can withstand one of my attacks. The Bear Queen's neck was covered with stone armor, and she took Bai Xuan's blow and dived to attack. But he didn't last long before he died. When the barbarian bear saw this scene, his jaw dropped in shock. King Bear, was he killed like this? This is too terrifying. This is definitely not a level 2 strength, so there is only one possibility. This guy is a level 3 ferocious beast. What should we do now? Or run? Can you outrun it? That's better than waiting to die. Suddenly, a huge savage bear stepped forward resolutely. It had a level of level 2 and level 6. If the Bear King hadn't taken up most of its resources, it would have already broken through level 2 and level 7, or even higher. What are you doing here? Eat. Bai Xuan became interested when he saw that not only was it not afraid, but it came up to question it. There were also other wild bears' reactions. Eating? We can give you something to eat, but you can't attack us. Barbarian Bear bit the bullet and continued negotiations. Although the Bear King was killed, it was still very happy, but it might be its turn next, which it didn't want to see. It would be great if we could talk, but if we couldn't talk, we could only fight to the death, to fight for more for the tribe. Time to escape. You won't avenge it? Bai Xuan felt puzzled. Logically speaking, if you kill their king, they should be angry. Is it because you are afraid? You don't dare to do it? It's possible, and if that's the case, you can take advantage of it. It would be good to have more brothers. A wolf pack plus a bear pack can better deal with human attacks, and can block most attacks, no matter how bad they are. The area here is quite dangerous. The bear country is to the west, the eagle country is to the east, and the dragon country is below. They are all Shang and Chang. Even though Bai Xuan has very good flying ability, it is still somewhat inadequate when facing human weapons if necessary. You can only continue to run north because of this. Bai Xuan needs more younger brothers who obey his orders to stop humans, and at the same time, he can grab more spiritual energy resources to improve his level. There are a lot of spirit stones scattered in other areas. It would be too time consuming to find them one by one, but it will be much easier if you have a large number and strong brothers, as the saying goes. There is strength in numbers. As for eating them to gain evolution points, the harm outweighs the benefits, and Bai Xuan can also eat other ones, which is completely unnecessary. The most important thing is to be obedient. Everything will be easier if you obey. This is why Bai Xuan will use strong methods to make them surrender. Black ants and wild bears were difficult to deal with, so Bai Xuan chose wolves. After all, dogs were also domesticated from wolves, so they were easier to deal with. It is not worthy of our revenge. The Bear King eats its own kind, occupies the female bear's spiritual energy resources, and requires us to work hard every day to find food for it to eat. Under various circumstances, we are happy to see the Bear King fall. The wild bears told the truth. They also wanted to resist, but the Bear King was even too strong. Therefore, we can only swallow our anger, avoid the edge temporarily, and wait for the right time to sneak attack, or beat up to kill the Bear King. You are quite miserable. Bai Xuan knows what a spouse means to bears. The estrus period is part of it, and he also wants to have his own offspring. And when the female bears are occupied by the king bear, they can only watch with envy and hatred. It is indeed a miserable squeeze. If the spiritual energy resources are used to improve the strength of the bear clan, it will definitely reach a higher level, and the status of the Bear King will also be threatened. There are pros and cons. However, the Bear King must limit their strength to stabilize his position. We can give you food and spiritual stones, but we need a mate to reproduce, man. Xiang put forward the conditions, feeling uneasy in his heart, but calm on the outside, waiting for Bai Xuan's answer. Let's do this. If you work for me, I only need high quality spiritual stones and nothing else. How about that? After Bai Xuan thought for a moment, he came up with the idea of conquering the Bear Clan. The Earth Bear's attack power and defense power are very high. There are few opponents in the same realm. It is indeed a very good fighter. Working for you? What exactly do you need us to do? Barbarian Bear did not agree directly, but asked clearly, before making a decision. I need spirit stones. You are going to help me snatch the spirit stones of other ferocious beasts. There are still necessary moments and you must obey my orders at the same time. I will not take them all away. I will divide them into 50 and 50 points. I can also cover them in the future. If you encounter someone who can't be beaten, you can come to me at any time and I will help you regain your position. After Bai Xuan said that, he raised his foot and swung out a flying ice blade, soaring straight into the sky. This is to show one's own strength and let the bear know his own strength. If they don't agree, Bai Xuan can only eat it all to maximize their benefits. It would be great decide to agree, and this is what Bai Xuan wants to see. Seeing that Bai Xuan can release the flying blade and kill the Bear King easily, they were silent. The wild bear who was negotiating with Bai Xuan just now said, "Please allow us to discuss this." Okay. Bai Xuan nodded lightly, then swallowed up the huge body of the Bear King, flew to the bloodless snow, stood on the snow, and waited patiently. A huge beast is sitting on the snow, communicating with you and me. They are all leaders of the Bear Clan, and now they control the future of the Bear Clan. That's it. What do you want to say? Actually, that guy is very powerful, and it's not a shame to work for him, but is it really believable? It should be believable that it didn't kill us immediately. Furthermore, if it really wanted to kill us, why bother talking nonsense to us? I think it's feasible. It's better to serve it than to follow the Bear King. Chapter 50 to Conquering the Bear Clan, Leader Xiang Yan. Some time passed. They discussed it, and the wild bear who had just negotiated with Bai Xuan came to Bai Xuan and lowered his head. The meaning is self-evident. We are willing to work for you. Wise choice. Don't you worry, as long as you do things well, I will never treat you badly in the future. Bai Xuan laughed and nodded with satisfaction. Thank you, Eagle King. Man Xiang called Bai Xuan king. With Bai Xuan's strength, he is qualified to be the king. After all, Bai Xuan is the strongest beast in this area, and even the strongest in the entire Far East. You just need to survive as you did in the past. By the way, now that the Bear King is dead, who among you will be the Bear King? Don't dare. We only have you as our king, but at least there is someone in charge. Will you be the one? We need to discuss this. The wild bear needs to ask other members of the same race for their opinions before selecting a leader. Let's do this. This position will be yours to save you the trouble of having to discuss it. If a fight breaks out and my affairs are delayed, it will be bad for both parties. After Bai Xuan finished speaking, he looked at the group of bears watching eagerly. You should have no objections. There is a reason why Bai Xuan provoked this wild bear to become the leader. After all, it dared to come forward to negotiate with him immediately. At the same time, its own strength was also good, so it was more than enough to be the leader. We have no objections. Even if they have objections or dissatisfaction, they have to hold it in. After all, this is what Bai Xuan said personally. If Bai Xuan is unhappy, he will be killed, and there will be no way to explain. Okay, it's such a happy decision. Bai Xuan looked at the wild bear. Since they all agree, you should agree too. Thank you King Eagle for your appreciation. I will not let you down. Now that the words have come to this, it has to agree, even if it doesn't want to. Okay, I believe you. By the way, do you have a name? It's a bit troublesome to give a name if you don't know. It's better to have a name or a code name. If not, it's better to call it a position, such as leader. Xiang Yan, this is my name. Xiang Yan replied respectfully. Xiang Yan kept his promise and naturally agreed to work for Bai Xuan, and he would do what he said. I hope Bai Xuan will keep his word and not treat them badly in the future. Xiang Yan, that's a good name. So, Xiang Yan, you will be the leader of the bear clan from now on. I hope you can grow the clan and work together as one, and don't make any mistakes. Yes, I will definitely not let down the Eagle King's expectations. Xiang Yan has a serious look from beginning to end, which is very trustworthy. Take me to the location of the spirit stone. Bai Xuan nodded lightly, and then the matter of the spirit stone was on his mind point. Just after swallowing the Bear King's corpse, Bai Xuan got a high-grade spiritual stone and several medium-grade spiritual stones. Now he has conquered the bear group, which can be said to be a full harvest. Eagle King, please follow me. Xiang Yan was respectful and led the way. Bai Xuan was a little tired and would squat on Xiang Yan's head. Xiang Yan didn't object. He just trembled for a while and then regained his composure. The other wild bears looked at the backs of Xiang Yan and Bai Xuan leaving. The fear and tension in their eyes could not dissipate for a long time. The aura on Bai Xuan's body still showed strength. It was too terrifying. 9 times out of 10, it was level 3. Unexpectedly, a third level ferocious beast appeared so early. But what they didn't expect was that Bai Xuan was not a ferocious beast that had just entered the 3rd level, but a ferocious beast that had reached the 3rd and 5th levels, and its strength was far more terrifying than it appeared. 3rd level. Ferocious beast. So terrifying. Who says it's not the case? The aura exuded from the Eagle King is enough to make us lose our fighting spirit. Hey, I don't know whether today's decision is a good thing or a bad thing. Whether it's a blessing or a curse, we can't avoid it. We just have to do our own thing well. I think it's a good thing. After all, the Bear King is dead, and it would definitely be better to let Xiang Yan take over. Furthermore, the Eagle King has said that if Xiang Yan can handle the clan affairs, Xiang Yan will not commit the same crime as the Bear King again. It's a mistake. In this way, we will have a spouse, and I feel happy when I think about it. That's right. I can finally be with Xiaomi legitimately. It's not easy. I have been waiting for this day for a long time. I have been thinking about changing it all the time, and now it has finally come true. Speaking of which, what should we do with the female bears who are pregnant with the Bear King's children and the Bear King's offspring? We should wait until Xiang Yan comes back to discuss it. But there are only 3 ways to choose. Either drive him away, kill him, or stay. Bai Xuan came to the cave where the spirit stones were stored. Due to the natural advantages of the bear clan, they plundered a lot of spirit stones, 1 or 2,000 low-grade spirit stones, hundreds of medium-grade spirit stones, and 2 high-grade spirit stones. Only the Bear King can use the high-grade spiritual stones, and other bear tribes dare not worry about the high-grade spiritual stones. Because of this, the Bear King's level increases so quickly. However, you have to be strong in blacksmithing, and the Bear King's talent is not weak. Otherwise, he would not be able to withstand the huge spiritual energy and would explode and die. Bai Xuan swallowed the middle grade spiritual stone and the high grade spiritual stone into his stomach, leaving only 2 middle grade spiritual stones, and handed them to Xiang Yan. Take these 2 middle grade spiritual stones and work hard. You will only have more in the future. Thank you King Eagle for the reward. Xiang Yan was silent for a moment, or chose to accept the spirit stone. You are quite old-fashioned and serious. Could it be that you are like this because you are afraid of me? Bai Xuan was in a good mood and joked with a smile. The black ant group and the wild bear group made Bai Xuan make a lot of money. You should be able to rise to several levels in a row and then absorb these spiritual stones after everything is done. No, I do this out of respect for the Eagle King. I see. Then just follow your personality. but I'm still quite kind, so I don't need to be so respectful. Do your job well. Maybe we can become good friends fighting side by side in the future. Bai Xuan uses both grace and power. He will be tough when he should be tough. He will be gentle when he should be gentle, and he will change his attitude clearly. Okay. Xiang Yan nodded heavily. His understanding of Bai Xuan increased a little more, and he was not that difficult to get along with. Maybe following Bai Xuan would be a good thing. After all, Bai Xuan is highly talented and powerful. With such a powerful giant eagle guarding him, many troublesome things can be solved easily. For example, ethnic issues and threats from foreign ethnic groups can be easily resolved. If Bai Xuan had not stood up to Xiang Yan as the leader, there might have been a bloody fight for a leader position, which would have been detrimental to the unity and growth of the group. By the way, the 3 tigers and a crow thousands of miles away from here are my friends. Don't hurt them. Bai Xuan seemed to have thought of something and explained. Okay, I'll remember it. Xiang Yan agreed without hesitation. Chapter 53 3rd Stage and 7th Stage, Poisoning. The next day. Race, Frost Giant Eagle. Level, 3 levels and 7 levels. Skills, 3rd level spiritual skills. Heavy Ice Claws, Advanced. Extremely Cold Spirit Wings, Advanced. Ice Feather Dominant Body, Advanced. Extremely Cold Wing Blade, Advanced. Ice Flying Blade, Advanced. Xuanhan Ice Rain, Advanced. Extreme Cold Storm Advanced. System Skills, Eye of Identification. Communication with living beings. Swallowing the sky and the earth. Pressure of death. Good size. Immunity to poison. Evolution point. Left curly bracket 50,000/80,000. Right square bracket. Killing the ferocious beasts resulted in a lot of evolution points, which raised Bai Xuan's level to level 3 and level 7. There is an obvious improvement in strength. After conquering the wolf tribe, you can start to advance. The spiritual energy and evolution points should be enough to advance. Even if you cannot advance, you are not far away from advancement point. Bai Xuan stood up, stretched, and walked to the cave door. It's still the same outside as before, with heavy snow and biting cold. The snow shouldn't stop for a while. Bai Xuan flapped his wings and headed towards the direction of the wolf clan at supersonic speed. Snow Wolf Group. All snow wolves of all sizes gathered here tonight. It was precisely to prepare for Bai Xuan's arrival. Then to poison and sneak attack, and finally to attack in groups, to kill the giant eagle that threatened their survival. The toxin comes from a mutated poisonous flower, and snow wolves have been poisoned before. Because of this, they have mastered the method of poisoning. The amount is quite large, for fear that the poison will not kill Bai Xuan. Wolf King. Everything is ready, just waiting for the giant eagle to arrive. Check it several times to make sure everything is safe. The Snow Wolf King did not dare to take it lightly. He must be the most perfect and must kill Bai Xuan. Don't worry, as long as that giant eagle dares to eat, it will definitely be poisoned to death. The leader wolf, who ranked 3rd in the wolf clan, spoke with great determination. Originally this was used to poison the bear clan and the ant clan, but unexpectedly Cheng Yaojin showed up on the way, so the poison could only be used on it. This time, to be sure, they used all their toxin stocks. At the same time, the powerful snow wolves are ready to attack. As long as the toxins in the giant eagle's body are activated, they will swarm up and eat the giant eagle alive. That's good. But I'm still a little worried that I will be discovered. Snow Wolf King nodded slightly, but he still couldn't help but express his concerns. Don't worry. This kind of poison is colorless and odorless. Our Snow Wolf tribe has a keen sense of smell and is difficult to detect. It took us a lot of trouble to find out that it is this kind of highly poisonous poison, so it will never be discovered. The leader wolf smiled, extremely confident. At the same time, I also looked down on the Snow Wolf King. When did the Snow Wolf King become so timid? This made the commander wolf think of replacing him. But poisoning is not advisable. This is the rule of the wolf clan, so it must have enough strength to challenge the Snow Wolf King and become the new Snow Wolf King. Now that the Snow Wolf King's prestige has been reduced, and there are very few spiritual stone resources left, this is an excellent opportunity that must not be missed. I feel relieved with your words. Snow Wolf King nodded lightly. It naturally knew that the leader wolf had evil intentions, but it did not reveal it. Instead, it chose to show its weakness to the enemy, making it take it lightly, and then killed it. It would be even better if you could die while surrounding the giant eagle. Wolf King, I'm not telling you. Have you become timid? The leader wolf pretended to be joking and said sarcastically, "It has been testing the Snow Wolf King's bottom line, or it can be said to be provoking the Wolf King's majesty. Although it has been warned before and has been quiet for a while, it will use a joking tone to challenge the Wolf King's majesty whenever it has the opportunity. I am also thinking about the future of the Wolf clan. Being cautious is a good thing after all, right?" The Snow Wolf King looked calm, but in fact he was already angry, but he just didn't show it. Ha ha ha. I'm just kidding. Don't mind, Wolf King. The leader of the wolf smiled boldly. How could it be? Am I the kind of wolf who can't take a joke? The Snow Wolf King showed an awkward but polite smile. It's also a smile hiding a knife. You really don't take me seriously anymore. Just wait. I will definitely make you pay for your contempt for the Wolf King. Things are proceeding in an orderly manner. Suddenly the Snow Wolf King's eyes became serious. Here he comes. I want to see who it is. The leader wolf didn't believe that the giant eagle was really that capable and felt that the Snow Wolf King was exaggerating. A moment later, a light blue figure appeared in the sky, cutting through the dark sky, falling towards the ground like a meteor. This speed, when the leader wolf witnessed it with his own eyes, his pupils were shocked. This speed is too fast. It is indeed a scourge and must be eradicated. Now, you know how powerful it is. The Snow Wolf King felt very relieved when he saw the leader wolf's shocked expression. I've told you that the giant eagle is very powerful, but I just don't believe it. HMPH. No matter how powerful he is, he can be like this. There are so many wolves among us, how can we be afraid of just one of them? The leader wolf came to his senses and was a little angry at his gaffe. Then, you'll be the first to come up. The Snow Wolf King fanned the flames, trying to push the leader wolf into the fire. What? We pay attention to his tactics, not recklessness. Wolf King, don't you even know this? After the leader of the wolf, he realized the Snow Wolf King's intention. Ha ha ha, I was just joking. Don't take it seriously. What time of year is it now? I am still in the mood to joke. It's really yours. At the same time, Bai Xuan, with all the snow wolves looking up and watching, landed on the ground, causing waves of snow and mist to be dispersed by the strong wind. Bai Xuan's huge body appeared in their eyes, exuding a cold and powerful aura. Some timid snow wolves were frightened to the point of peeing. Most of the snow wolves were shivering, with their tails between their legs, not daring to look at Bai Xuan. They were so confident before, but now they are so embarrassed. Only by witnessing it with your own eyes and experiencing that hierarchical suppression can you know how terrifying that giant eagle is. How are you thinking? Bai Xuan walked up to the Snow Wolf King with a cold tone. We should think about it before Commander Wolf could finish speaking. He was interrupted by Bai Xuan. Did I ask you? Besides, what qualifications do you have to speak to me on behalf of the wolf pack? The leader wolf felt very aggrieved in his heart and his teeth were itching with hatred, but on the surface he showed an awkward and polite smile. He did not dare to refute Bai Xuan's words yet. Seeing this, the Snow Wolf King explained very clearly that he was the only one qualified to represent the wolf clan. You should retreat first, and then leave it to me. I know, Wolf King. The leader of the wolf lowered his head with a cold expression, and then retreated obediently. You're not doing a very good job as the Wolf King. Bai Xuan's hearing is very sensitive, and he heard the conversation between the two of them in the distance. To be honest, Snow Wolf King, the Wolf King, is really not doing a very good job. Let his subordinates. The wolf is so provocative and majestic. Chapter 54. I'm very interested, so I won't bother you anymore. You are joking. Snow Wolf King smiled awkwardly. If you don't open any pot and lift it, it will be a real loss. You'll have something nice to look at later. So have you decided yet? Bai Xuan spoke with interest. Unexpectedly, the Snow Wolf clan would resist, but the barbarian bears are very knowledgeable. This also made Bai Xuan interested. He wanted to see what strategies they could come up with to deal with him. Eagle King, you are so powerful, it is our honor to surrender to you. The Snow Wolf King showed a flattering smile and turned to look behind him. Why don't you hurry up and bring the food for the Eagle King to enjoy? The Snow Wolf King showed a flattering smile and turned to look behind him. Why don't you hurry up and bring the food for the Eagle King to enjoy? King called the wolves under his command and brought the food. It was a silly roe deer. It was very big and had a pair of crystal antlers on its head. After mutating, it mastered the power of water, but it was ultimately weaker than the wolves and was hunted. This is totally normal. The silly roe deer was pulled in front of Bai Xuan. He was dead and had a lot of toxins in his body, which are fatal to most ferocious beasts. The wolves that came up with food could not stop trembling. They lowered their heads from beginning to end and did not dare to look at Bai Xuan. It goes without saying that they were very afraid of Bai Xuan. You are really thoughtful. Bai Xuan praised. Eagle King, eat it while it's fresh. There was also a grey-white snow rabbit in front of the Snow Wolf King, which was quite big. There must be nothing fishy about you being so anxious. Haha, Eagle King, you really like to joke. How could there be something fishy? Eat it while it's fresh, and I'll enjoy the delicious food together. The Snow Wolf King broke out in cold sweat, smiled awkwardly, and after finishing his quibbles, he urged Bai Xuan to eat it. Really? Then let that so-and-so come over and take a bite first. Bai Xuan looked at the leader wolf who had previously provoked the Snow Wolf King. The Snow Wolf King was a little confused and looked at the leader wolf. The leader of the wolf said quickly, "This is food for the Eagle King. It is not for wolves like me. Eagle King, please don't be polite and eat it quickly. After eating, we can talk about business." Yes, let's talk about business after eating. The Snow Wolf King forced a smile and agreed. You are so enthusiastic. How can I enjoy it alone? You should come over and have a bite. Otherwise, it will appear that I'm very unreasonable and unsophisticated. Bai Xuan watched their quibbles with great interest. How about you come over and have a bite? Now that the words have come to this point, Snow Wolf King can only follow Bai Xuan's words anyway. It also wanted to take this opportunity to get rid of the leader wolf. This was indeed a good opportunity. At the same time, it tried its best, but it was unable to do anything, and there would be no criticism later. If the leader wolf refuses to eat, it will ruin the overall situation. Now that the situation is tense, I believe the leader wolf will sacrifice his life for justice. All the snow wolves looked at the leader wolf in unison, waiting for his answer. I'm actually full. I can't eat anymore. Eagle King, you can just eat it yourself. The leader of the wolf felt extremely annoyed. Why did he choose to do it? Are you not giving me face? Bai Xuan's tone was cold. This frightened the Snow Wolf King so much. Well, Wolf Howl, why don't you just take a bite? Just finish it. There's so much nonsense. Hurry up and take a bite. The other snow wolves also urged the leader wolf to take a bite. The leader of the wolf is crying without tears. This is simply shooting himself in the foot. Now he can only bite the bullet and simply take a bite without swallowing it, and then find a place to spit it out. Then I would rather obey your orders than be respectful. The leader wolf reluctantly stepped forward and came to the corpse. If it were ordinary silly roe deer flesh and blood, it would definitely devour it, but this was highly poisonous flesh and blood, with toxins all over the body. It was hesitant and couldn't take its mouth, which was even more uncomfortable than letting it eat shit. Bai Xuan gave Snow Wolf King a look, and Snow Wolf King understood. Wolf Zero, hurry up. When did you become so procrastinating? Why don't you just take a bite? What are you worried about? I order you to eat quickly. The Snow Wolf King became more and more energetic as he talked, urging the leader to eat. The leader wolf glared at the Snow Wolf King resentfully, then took a small bite. I finished eating. I won't disturb you anymore. I am leaving first. Don't worry, why are you so polite? Are you looking down on me by eating so little? Bai Xuan blocked the leader wolf's path with his wings and said in a joking tone. Lang Zero, take another bite. This place is good. Take a bite. You're welcome. The Snow Wolf King gloated over the misfortune, stretched out his wolf claws, and pointed at a spot on the forelimbs of the corpse. Long-term pain is worse than short-term pain. After fighting hard, Wolf Howl once again bit off a big mouthful of flesh and blood, staring at the Snow Wolf King fiercely. Thank you, Wolf King, Eagle King. The Snow Wolf King felt a little sorry for being stared at. He felt guilty and did not dare to look at the howling wolf. He waved his wolf claws. Okay, you go down first. Yes, Wolf King. Wolf Zhao gritted his teeth, and after speaking, he retreated. This time Bai Xuan didn't stop him anymore, and looked at Snow Wolf King. How about you take a bite too? This kind of food is very precious, and it is perfect for entertaining you, the Eagle King. I also have food myself, so just eat my own. By the way, eat it while it's fresh. I see. I didn't expect your hospitality to be so good. Bai Xuan nodded lightly. Bai Xuan twisted off the corpse's head and swallowed it in one gulp. When the Snow Wolf King and the other snow wolves saw this, they were so excited that they finally ate it. It was not easy. Commander Lang Xiao's sacrifice was not in vain. We will definitely avenge you. The Snow Wolf King was so happy that he could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Eliminating 2 obstacles was a great blessing for him. Why are you smiling so happily? Bai Xuan asked. Nothing, just thinking of happy things. Then, they are also thinking of happy things. Bai Xuan looked at the snow wolves among the wolves, some of whom were smiling evilly. They are happy for themselves. After all, with you leading us, our tribe will definitely be able to reach a new height. The Snow Wolf King argued that it would be easier for you when the toxin takes effect. So, that's the case. Then I have some good news to tell you. Bai Xuan grinned. What? Good news? The Snow Wolf King was puzzled. What good news could there be? It's just that I'm immune to toxins, and at the same time I'm also very sensitive to toxins. Really? Then I'm really happy for you. The Snow Wolf King was slightly startled, sweating profusely, and said with an awkward smile. Bai Xuan swallowed the corpse of the silly roe deer into his stomach, and then looked at the Snow Wolf King. The Eagle King has a really good appetite. Are you not full? I will go and get you some food myself. The Snow Wolf King was so frightened that he found an excuse and ran away. I don't know if it's true or not. To be on the safe side, it's better to stay away. Foster father, super loud. I want. Gasps. I want a power generator for love. Thank you. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55 Slaughtering the Wolves. 4 stages and 4 stages. Do you think I don't know you poisoned me? Bai Xuan's figure flashed past, and the next moment he appeared in front of the Snow Wolf King. The sharp eagle claws directly grabbed the Snow Wolf King's face and pierced into the flesh, causing blood to flow out. The Snow Wolf King was startled by this sudden turn of events. He was sweating profusely, and his body was shaking uncontrollably. Eagle King, please listen to my explanation. I am also forced to have no choice. Before it finished speaking, a snow wolf shouted from behind, "Kill it! Rescue the Wolf King! Hey, don't act rashly. As the Wolf King, I order you to stop. Forget it, you'd better die." Bai Xuan crushed the Snow Wolf King's head and turned to look at the wolves. The densely packed snow wolves came towards Bai Xuan. They were hesitant at first, but when they saw the Snow Wolf King being killed by Bai Xuan, they no longer hesitated and vowed to kill Bai Xuan. Seek death. Bai Xuan used his wings to swing out more than a dozen flying ice blades, killing the rushing wolves to pieces. One after another, snow wolves fell down, dying in extremely miserable ways. Bai Xuan flapped his wings and flew into the air. The sky was Bai Xuan's home field, and with his long-range attack ability, he was able to sweep through the entire wolf pack without any damage. Xuanhan Ice Rain. Bai Xuan fired densely packed ice feathers from the inside of his wings, attacking intensively and mercilessly slaughtering the wolves. In less than 1 o'clock, a large number of the wolves were killed and injured. After seeing Bai Xuan's terrifying fighting power, they lost their fighting spirit. This is no longer something that can only be won by numbers. It is almost like using aircraft and cannons to indiscriminately bomb the backward indigenous people holding wooden sticks. The wolves were scared to death and fled in all directions, but Bai Xuan did not intend to let them go. Since they cannot be used by me, then they should become a stepping stone on my way to the top. Extreme cold wing blade, ice flying blade, Xuan and ice rain, extreme cold storm. Various spiritual skills swept through and slaughtered the wolves. Gradually, corpses littered the fields. The snow was dyed red with blood, and lives fell here one after another. Nearly 3 hours later, Bai Xuan chased and killed, killing everything in sight. It was still a bit laborious. After all, the wolves scattered and fled. Fortunately, Bai Xuan caught up with them before they could run very far and killed them all. Killing them is as effortless as an eagle eating a chicken. Bai Xuan spent another hour devouring all the corpses. There were also many spiritual stones along with it. There were more than 2,000 low-grade spiritual stones recovered from the corpse, and there were hundreds of medium-grade spiritual stones, but there were no high-grade spiritual stones at the same time. The evolution points are also rising slowly. This time it is almost 180,000 evolution points. It is enough for Bai Xuan to evolve to the 3rd level and 9th stage, then absorb the energy of the spirit stone, break through the 4th level, and then use the spiritual stone evolution points to increase the level point. After Bai Xuan finished eating, he flew towards his residence. I don't know what will happen if I advance to the 4th level. 4 months later. Race: Frost Spirit Eagle. Level: 4 levels and 4 stages. Skills: 4th level spiritual skills. Frost Spirit Claws. Low level: Frost Spirit Wings. Intermediate: Cold Scale Body. Intermediate: Frost Wing Blade. Intermediate: Frost Flying Blade. Intermediate: Extremely Cold Ice Rain. Intermediate level. Frost Storm. Intermediate level. Void Condensation. Intermediate level. Frost Breath. Intermediate level. System skills: Eye of Identification. Communication with living beings. Swallowing the sky and the earth. Pressure of death. Wishful thinking. Immune to toxins. Magical power to avoid water. Can move freely in the water. Evolution point: 80, over 600, 000. Right square bracket. Spend 17 evolution points and break through to the 3rd stage and 9th stage point. Then use the spirit stone energy to advance to the 4th level, and then break through 1 level to reach the 2nd level of the 4th level point. In the end, 900,000 evolution points were consumed to upgrade to the 4th stage and 4th stage, with 80,000 evolution points left. Point: at this time, Bai Xuan's body shape and appearance have changed. Point: the body length is 18 meters and the wingspan is 45 meters. Ice patterns around the crystal between the eyebrows condensed into a solid body, crystal clear, like a crown, sacred and inviolable, and a symbol of strength. Point: the golden vertical pupils are sharp and cold, showing no anger and self-power, adding a bit more domineeringness to himself. There is a palm-sized white scale under the chest feathers, which is shining brightly. It is more powerful when combined with the ice scale hegemonic body, and has strong defense. Point: the tail feathers changed from the original gradient color to completely silvery white. If you look closely, you can see the diamond-shaped white scale lines, which are extremely sharp and hard, like a sword. Point: the eagle's claws are sharper, with light blue ice lines on the surface. The scales on the legs have not changed. If anything, they are harder and more lethal. An eagle's cry resounded through the sky, the ground shook, and the mountains shook, triggering an avalanche. Bai Xuan has evolved extremely, and his body has been completely transformed. At the 4th level, he can condense objects in the void. His attacks do not need to be launched from himself, and he stores more spiritual energy at the same time. Bai Xuan's current speed can even reach twice the speed of sound, which is Mach 2. The full burst can be even higher, which is similar to many fighter jets in service today. Bai Xuan twisted his neck and stood up, stretched out his wings. The cold air gathered on the wings, and finally condensed into an ice cone. Bai Xuan had a thought, and the ice cone shot out, like a sharp arrow, and disappeared in the next second. I don't know what skills I will get next time I advance. At the same time, it took 4 months to advance to the next level. Bai Xuan couldn't help, but time flies so fast, and it has been almost a year since his spiritual energy recovered. In the first spiritual energy tide, the mutated creatures can grow to the 2nd level. With the energy of the 2nd spiritual energy tide, the ferocious beasts should be able to reach the 4th level, or even the 5th level. Bai Xuan's current sense of consciousness is very terrifying. He releases his consciousness and covers hundreds of miles in radius. He senses the situation of the Bear Clan. Xiang Yan has broken through the 2nd level and 9th level. There is still some time before the 3rd level. Huzi is also the 2nd level and 9th level. Tiger is the big one, and Tiger Mother is the 2nd stage and 8th stage. Xiao He's bloodline seems to have changed and become more powerful. At the same time, his level has also reached the 2nd and 7th stages. There must be some opportunities during this period. This speed is already very fast. Bai Xuan had a rough understanding of the current situation. Within a few hundred miles, there were no 3rd level ferocious beasts born. Huzi and Xiang Yan were still a long way from being at the 3rd level. Judging from this situation, there should be very few people who advance to the 3rd level. And Bai Xuan has reached the 4th level and the 4th stage. It is huge in size and has a wingspan of 45 meters. It can be described as covering the sky and the sun. It is a top level ferocious beast. Let's go out for a walk. Bai Xuan flew out of the cave. His body instantly enlarged to the maximum. With a wingspan of 45 meters, his speed gradually increased and finally reached twice the speed of sound. In a flash, a sonic boom suddenly appeared. The wind was strong, the big trees in the forest were swaying, and the snow was falling. It started to stop snowing some time ago, but it is still very cold. This is also caused by more and more mutated creatures with ice attributes after the spiritual energy was revived, and more ice accumulated in the North Pole drifted here. For various reasons, this area remains cold for most of the day. Those who couldn't adapt left. Most of those who could adapt were thick-skinned, thick-haired, or ferocious beasts with ice attributes. There were almost no fire attributes here. They were restrained by the local environment. In order to adapt to survive, the fire attribute has been eliminated. Chapter 56 Tempering the Body and Being in Good Order. The territory of the wild bear. Wherever Bai Xuan went, the bears lowered their heads to show respect. Bai Xuan nodded, said a symbolic hello, and went straight to Xiang Yan's residence. At this time, Xiang Yan was exercising, hitting the mountain with his strong body, tempering his body, and feeling the earth with his heart. The power to enhance one's own attribute strength. If a ferocious beast wants to advance to the 3rd level, its attributes must reach a certain level and its spiritual energy must break through the bottleneck before it can advance to the 3rd level successfully. It is still very difficult, and it will become more difficult as you go forward. Bai Xuan looked at Xiang Yan practicing hard and nodded happily. Yes, your strength has become much stronger. As expected, I was right about the bear. Xiang Yan managed the Bear Clan in an orderly manner, and his level has also been greatly improved. With his talent, if he continues to work hard, he can become the overlord of the party in the future. Xiang Yan stopped hitting the mountain, got down on all fours, turned to look at Bai Xuan, and lowered his head. Eagle King, how has the tribe developed during this time? Bai Xuan asked, squatting on a big rock and looking at Xiang Yan. Xiang Yan naturally also discovered Bai Xuan's changes. His aura became even more terrifying. The Eagle King's talent was really high. After Xiang Yan came to his senses, he quickly answered Bai Xuan's question. According to the instructions of the Eagle King, everything is fine in the Bear Clan. There are no fights. They are doing their best to collect spiritual stones for the Eagle King. Well done. I really saw the bear correctly. Bai Xuan praised. The Eagle King has given you the award. Xiang Yan scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. I will take 40% of the collected spirit stones. You will take 10%, and the rest will be distributed to strengthen the tribe. Yes, Xiang Yan stored all the collected spirit stones and distributed all the low-grade spirit stones before to strengthen the group's strength. He was worried about what would happen if the spirit stones were used up and wanted to talk to Bai Xuan. But I didn't expect Bai Xuan to be the first to say it. Xiang Yan has no complaints about this distribution method, or he agrees with it very much. This is a great thing for the tribe to grow, and it no longer has to worry about insufficient spiritual stones in the future. Let's sit down and talk. Don't be so nervous. I won't eat you. Bai Xuan could see Xiang Yan's nervousness and was respectful to him from beginning to end. This is good, but Bai Xuan still thinks it's appropriate, and he doesn't need to be so serious and respectful all the time. Give sincerity and appropriate dignity. Only by applying kindness and power can we do things better for ourselves. Yes. Xiang Yan sat down on the ground with a serious expression from beginning to end. He firmly remembered every word or order Bai Xuan said, striving to do his best and get more resources, more trust and protection. It is true that the bear clan is very strong in this area, but it is hard to say in other areas. It is good to have a backer after all, as it can obtain more resources. Each has its own needs, and it is mutually beneficial and win-win. Now Xiang Yan is even more willing to surrender to Bai Xuan without any complaints. If this matter is passed down, the bear clan will always be loyal to Bai Xuan, using Bai Xuan as their backer and their resources as protection fees, which is not bad. By the way, did anything happen during this period, such as did humans take any actions? Bai Xuan did not force Xiang Yan to have any attitude towards talking to him. As for the trends of human beings, Bai Xuan must understand clearly, so that if there is any big move, he can respond immediately. Human beings are at war with Siberian ferocious beasts, and they will not spread to our side for the time being. At the same time, there are also many ferocious beasts who cannot stand the blows of humans, and have come here one after another. This was the case with the Siberian wolf tribe before. Xiang Yan told Bai Xuan everything he knew. There are also cities and houses inhabited by humans in the Far East, but because of the revival of spiritual energy and the rampant ferocious beasts, they chose to leave, and it became an empty city. That's it. Bai Xuan nodded lightly. This is very good. It does not spread. They have enough time to grow up. At the same time, they can also eat the ferocious beasts that have escaped here to improve their level and strength. The bear tribe not only eats ferocious land beasts, but also spiritual fruits, water creatures, etc. They eat everything, as long as they can eat. Spirit fruit is the fruit produced by some winter spiritual plants in the forest. It is rich in spiritual energy, and is of great help to ferocious beasts. So, Eagle King, what do we need to do? Are we going to deal with humans? Xiang Yan has also experienced attacks from humans, including fighter jets, howitzers, missiles, etc. Most of them are airstrikes and long-range strikes. There are also ocean areas and warships, but they are much less than others. Many of his own race were killed by humans, and Xiang Yan was naturally very angry about this. Don't fight them for the time being. It's not the time yet. Strengthening the clan is the top priority. Bai Xuan expressed his thoughts. When it's time to fight, it's natural to fight, but now is not the time. Anyway, there are other ferocious beasts supporting them, and they only need to do their best to improve their own strength. Once the other ferocious beasts can no longer hold on, it won't be too late to stop them. Fierce beasts also need their own territory and a place to live. Although Bai Xuan is a flying ferocious beast, it also needs a habitat, so this area will never be given up. Naturally, other ferocious beasts have the same idea, and some even have a natural obsession with their territory. Even if they die, they will never leave their territory and fight to the end. Okay, I'll listen to you. Xiang Yan nodded heavily. This is also the idea. It has indeed not spread here now. They still have time to grow. If they rush over recklessly and fight for their lives, they will most likely perish. If their lives are lost, there is no need to talk about revenge. Nowadays, many ferocious beasts are hostile to humans in this way. Bai Xuan chatted with Xiang Yan for a while. Later, Xiang Yan took Bai Xuan to get the spirit stones. Bai Xuan kept his promise and only took 40% of the spirit stones and swallowed them all. By the way, take this. If something unexpected happens, inject spiritual energy into it, and I will be able to sense it and rush over to help as soon as possible. Bai Xuan used an eagle's beak to pluck out a feather on his body, and then the feather floated in front of Xiang Yan. Xiang Yan held the feather carefully, for fear of breaking it. He could clearly feel the terrifying aura emitted by the feather, which could not dissipate for a long time. Taking out this feather was enough to scare most of the ferocious beasts today. Thank you, Eagle King. You're welcome. Bai Xuan waved his wings. That, Eagle King, can you answer me a question? Xiang Yan hesitated several times before finally asking, tell me about it. Bai Xuan did not agree directly. There were some things that Bai Xuan really couldn't tell Xiang Yan. That's, Eagle King, how high is your level now? Xiang Yan was very curious about Bai Xuan's level, and at the same time, wanted to catch up with Bai Xuan. Level 3 and stage 5. Bai Xuan did not tell the truth about the true level point last time. Xiao Hei and the others felt that they must have advanced to the 3rd level, and what Bai Xuan will do next will inevitably expose the 3rd level strength, so just tell the truth. There is no need to hide it. This time, the 3rd level is very reasonable. They can believe it, and will not doubt it. After all, the 4th level is too far away from them, let alone the 4th level. They won't think much about the changes, they will only think about the 2nd bloodline evolution of the 3rd level. Chapter 57 Little Black Bloodline Evolution, Spiritual Tree. After hearing this answer, Xiang Yan was shocked beyond words. As expected of the Eagle King, he is indeed very powerful. It knows that it is still a long way from the 3rd level. Without a chance, it will not be able to advance for a while Bai Xuan has already reached the 3rd level and the 5th level. It can be said to be so terrifying. How could Xiang Yan not be shocked? Okay, if you don't have anything else to do, I'll leave first. Bai Xuan said hello and stood up to leave. Then, I'll see you off. Xiang Yan also stood up and stepped forward to see Bai Xuan off. No need. Bai Xuan shook his head gently and then flew out of the cave, like a rainbow soaring into the sky, with light blue light trailing behind, and the cold air drifting away. It was very beautiful. People couldn't help but take a few more glances. Xiang Yan looked up at the figure in the sky. I will definitely catch up with you. Xiang Yan has his own goals and ideals. He is loyal to Bai Xuan, but he will not always rely on Bai Xuan. Point. It is a good thing to have help, but it is better to rely on others than to rely on yourself. Point. Only by relying on yourself can you feel more at ease and don't have to worry about facing the situation. Point. Difficulties can also be solved immediately instead of waiting for Bai Xuan to come and solve them. There is also the important task of strengthening the Bear Clan. The Bear Clan is now considered stable, but there are still many uncertainties hidden. The most important thing is the issue of the heirs of the incoming Bear King, which must be properly resolved. Xiang Yan does not intend to drive them away, as long as setting rules should solve potential problems. Killing them directly, if they disobeyed discipline, and killing a large number of bear princes and offspring would cause dissatisfaction among most female bears, which would not be conducive to growing the group. So Xiang Yan did not choose to kill them directly. Expulsion is tantamount to killing, and is not advisable. It will cause conflicts and is unnecessary. For long-term considerations, this approach is already good now. Bai Xuan relied on his spiritual perception to arrive at Hugh's residence. Now the tigers and the two live separately, but they are not far apart. When they encounter difficulties, they can help each other and solve the problems together. At this time, Hughes was practicing in the cave, absorbing spiritual stones and improving his own strength. When Bai Xuan saw this, he did not disturb him. Just as he was about to leave, Xiao Hei came to visit Uzi after foraging for food, but his residence was on a mutated big tree with lush leaves, blocking Xiao Hei's residence. The relationship between Xiao Hei and the big tree is quite good. Xiao Hei often kills some ferocious beasts and puts them at the foot of the tree. The roots of the big tree pull the corpse into the ground. The roots absorb the energy of the corpse and increase its own strength. Xiao Hei shouted after seeing Bai Xuan, flapped his wings, and came towards Bai Xuan non-stop. Brother Hei, are you back from foraging? Bai Xuan responded with a smile. Yes, but I'm not coming back, but coming to visit Hughie. Xiao Hei landed smoothly on the ground. Xiao Hei's appearance and body shape have changed a lot, with a body length of 8 meters and a wingspan of 21 meters. Among birds and beasts, he can be described as a giant. The whole body is covered with black feathers, which are colorful under the sunlight. There are 3 black bone spurs on the joints of the wings, which looks a bit scary. At the same time, Bai Xuan enlarged his body to be almost the same as Xiao Hei, making it easier to communicate. It is not good to look up or down, and then released the eye of identification. Race, Dark Flame Raven. Level, Stage 2, Stage 7. Attributes, Black Flame, Shadow. Bai Xuan can detect the improvement in Xiao Hei's level and strength. His strength should be much stronger than that of the ferocious beasts in the same realm. There should be some kind of chance to master dual attributes. I see. Then where do you live now? It's in the forest over there. Do you want to visit my place, Xiao He pointed a direction to Bai Xuan with his wings. Okay. By the way, congratulations on your level breakthrough. You should also have mastered the fire attribute. Damn it, you discovered this. Xiao didn't expect that Bai Xuan could see that he had fire attributes. I'm just guessing. I felt a fire attribute power, so I confirmed it with you. Bai Xuan smiled and explained. Awesome, I was thinking of giving you a surprise, but I didn't expect you to find out so soon. Sure enough, I can't hide anything from you. If Xiao had fingers, he would definitely give Bai Xuan a thumbs up. As expected of a novice, his insight ability is very strong. At the same time, Xiao also noticed Bai Xuan's changes and said in disbelief, Xiao Bai, have you been promoted again? That's not true. It's just that the level has improved and some changes have occurred. Bai Xuan smiled and shook his head. I thought you were promoted again. That would be terrible. After all, Xiao has only seen one level 3 ferocious beast like Bai Xuan, not to mention level 4, not even a hair on it. Let's chat while flying. Bai Xuan flapped his wings and flew up, heading towards the direction Xiao pointed just now. Xiao followed closely and flew to Bai Xuan. There are a few mutated big trees there. I will build a bird's nest on one of the big trees. It's very safe and I can see further. Mutated trees are quite interesting. Bai Xuan nodded lightly. After the second level, many ferocious beasts can communicate, or it can be said to be a kind of beast language, allowing ferocious beasts of all major races to communicate easily, or even without barriers. It is unknown where this kind of beast language comes from. After the second spiritual energy tide came, and he advanced to the first level, he naturally mastered this skill in his mind. Bai Xuan naturally has it 2. But Bai Xuan doesn't need it. After all, there is a system of additional creature communication that can communicate with any living creature without any barriers, including flowers, plants, birds and animals, marine life, etc. After a while, Xiao brought Bai Xuan to his residence point. During this period, Xiao told Bai Xuan the causes and consequences of his evolution. He accidentally found a spiritual fruit in the forest. After swallowing it, his bloodline changed, and he mastered the power of fire. However, the fire attribute will be affected in this area, and the strength can only be used at 30%. Because of this, Xiao usually does not use the fire attribute, but chooses to use the shadow attribute to approach without anyone noticing. The prey can be killed in one blow. The shadow attribute also has the corrosive attribute, and the amplification speed is not weak. It's enough for this area. Xiao Bai, this is where I live. Xiao happily introduced to Bai Xuan that the trees here are indeed taller and taller, with thick trunks. The tallest tree, which is the tree where Xiao built the bird's nest, is 300 meters high. It is not an understatement to describe it as a towering tree. Past those mutated second level trees, feeling the terrifying aura on Bai Xuan's body, were so frightened that the branches shook involuntarily several times, and they did not dare to breathe. Just like ordinary trees, it is indeed a good place. These trees are of high grade. Bai Xuan has already figured out their information. The tree roots are deeply rooted in the earth. The tree roots are strong and powerful, like pythons. If they are entangled by them, it will be difficult for ordinary ferocious beasts of the same realm to break free. However, the bears live in the same realm as the mutant northeast tiger, a ferocious beast with a strong body, has some roots and vines that are unable to cope with it. Would you like to move in together? Xiao suggested. No, this place is not suitable for me. Besides, they seem to be quite afraid of me. Bai Xuan declined politely. The place where Bai Xuan lives is on the top of the mountain. It is bitingly cold and suits him very well. There is no need to move here. Okay, then. Xiao said, and flew to the tallest tree. Sun King, don't you worry. His name is Xiao Bai. He is my good friend, and will not hurt you. Sun King, this tree is really well named. Bai Xuan murmured to himself. Xiao has seen the Eagle King. Song King's huge body was slightly bent, as if he was bowing. The same is true for other spiritual trees, with their huge trunks slightly curved. Xiao has met the Eagle King. The voices of Sun King and other second level spiritual trees are rich or sweet, while the first and second level ones are immature and change depending on their age and level. You know me, maybe. It was promoted by the Bear Clan. Chapter 58 Song King's answer. Great White Shark. I know you and have seen your strength, Song. King felt uneasy, and her tone revealed her nervousness, but it still chooses to tell the truth point at the same time. The leaves made a salsa sound point. Song King had a wide field of vision. When he saw the scene of Bai Xuan massacring the wolf clan, he was frightened. The smell of blood could be transmitted here, and he heard the conversation of the Bear Clan. The Bear Clan gave birth to a foreign Eagle King. The number one ethnic group in this area became the Eagle King's subordinate. Not only did they not resist, but they obeyed his orders. Because of this, it became so nervous after seeing Bai Xuan. That's it. Don't worry, I am not that cruel and cruel hawk. You are Brother Hen's friends. Naturally, I won't hurt you, but this is also the case if you don't provoke me. In the end, Bai Xuan did not forget to add that this was not a threat, but to make it clear, so that they would not use it to provoke him unscrupulously in the future. The probability of this happening is very small, but it's better to make it clear. Thank you, Eagle King. Song King and the other spirit trees breathed a sigh of relief. With Bai Xuan's promise, they can feel more at ease. It is impossible to provoke Bai Xuan. Even if they were given 100 courages, they would not dare to do so. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Xiao Hei laughed and ended the topic point. It's not an option to keep talking about this topic. It's a bit embarrassing, brother. Hei, now that you have mastered the fire attribute, this place doesn't seem to be suitable for you. So what are your plans for the future, Bai? Xuan turned the topic to Xiao Hei. It was okay to make a transition, but in the long run, it would not be conducive to Xiao Hei's growth, and the fire attribute would be buried as a result. I haven't thought about it well. Xiao Hei sighed helplessly. It also wanted to leave, but for various reasons, it had to stay. On the one hand, Bai Xuan and Huzi are living here. On the other hand, they really don't know where to survive. They are unfamiliar with the place and the current situation is tense. It is safer to stay in this area. Xiao Bai, you know a lot. Can you help me think about where to go? Xiao Hei asked Bai Xuan for help. After all, it was Bai Xuan who brought them here. Well, I haven't thought of a suitable place yet. Let's wait a little longer. Other areas are too dangerous and the situation is tense. It would be strange if a behemoth like Xiao Hei passed by and was blown to pieces. Then, let's wait and see. It's okay to stay here. After all, it's very safe here. It's just that the fire attribute is temporarily affected. It's harmless. When I become stronger in the future, I can find a suitable place for my survival. Xiao Hei cheered up and looked at things more openly. You're right. As long as you have enough strength, you can go anywhere, fly freely and without restraint. Bai Xuan laughed and agreed that's all. Bai Xuan talked with Xiao Hei and Ling Shu for a while. After that, Bai Xuan said hello and left. Some time passed. Bai Xuan flew at full speed and finally arrived at the sea in the east point. Along the way, we did not encounter any danger. He also released his spiritual consciousness to sense the area where he was flying, how many ferocious beasts there were, and whether they were strong or weak. The result was not surprising, and the strength was much weaker than that of the Bear Clan. There are also several thousand ethnic groups, and without exception, they all have their own territory for foraging. They have a strong sense of territoriality and many fights have occurred. However, after seeing Bai Xuan again, they all trembled without exception. The level of suppression made them feel strong fear. They either found a place to hide or ran away to find a place to hide. And Bai Xuan flew over their heads in the blink of an eye. At this time, they were slightly relieved, but they still hid for a long time and only dared to come out after they sensed that there was no danger. There are so many ferocious beasts in the sea. Bai Xuan used his spiritual consciousness to explore the sea area in front of him. There were many ferocious beasts, and there was a huge beast under the deep sea. Bai Xuan guessed that the ferocious beast had entered the third level. There is no human jurisdiction here, but still, after all, there are so many ferocious beasts in the sea, and there are even third-order giant ferocious beasts, which are very dangerous and consume a lot of resources. I Don't know what type of third level beast it is, since the behemoth was in the deep sea. Bai Xuan could not detect what type of beast it was. He only knew that it was very large and had a third level. Forget it, we'll find out when we go down and take a look. Bai Xuan gave up on using his spiritual sense to continue exploring and just did what he said, diving directly into the seawater, which was freezing cold. However, it has no effect on Bai Xuan. His water avoidance skills and his own ice attribute make him very cold resistant. In other words, it matches his own attributes and is not affected. Suddenly, a second stage and 8th stage great white shark, with a body length of 15 meters, opened its huge mouth, with sharp teeth flowing out, and rushed towards Bai Xuan at the speed of a rocket, trying to bite Bai Xuan to death. Xuan, rampant. Bai Xuan swung out the ice flying blade, forming a beautiful arc in the sea. There were signs of ice wherever it went, directly cutting the great white shark in half from head to tail, and the blood was red. The smell of blood filled the surrounding seawater. Although in the sea, the speed and damage of the ice flying blade are affected, it is not harmful. As the saying goes, great strength can produce miracles. As long as the power is strong enough, the sea can be split. Bai Xuan swallowed the great white shark into his stomach, and the system's voice followed. Swallow the mutated great white shark. Stage 2 and Stage 8, gain 900 evolution points. 900 evolution points are a drop in the bucket for the next evolution point. Now the first and second levels of the second level can no longer satisfy Bai Xuan. Fortunately, there are many, and if you add up, you can still improve your level by spending more time. I hope these ferocious beasts can grow faster and reach the third level as soon as possible so that I can get more evolution points. The blood of great white sharks attracted many ferocious beasts, most of which were great white sharks. Within a short while, hundreds of great white sharks were attracted. They surrounded Bai Xuan, staring eagerly and grinding their teeth. It's really strange. All the ferocious beasts on land have come to the sea. It must have killed our kind. It's so bold. Don't you know whose territory this is? This guy is not weak, so let's forget it. There is no need to provoke it and cause unnecessary casualties. What are you afraid of? There are so many of us, so why should we be afraid of a small weak chicken? If it dares to kill our kind and challenge our majesty, it must pay the price for what it has done. Brothers, don't talk nonsense with it. Come on together and eat it. I have a hunch that eating it will be of great help to us. You're right, share it. First come first served. I got it first. Chapter 59 Tier 3 Octopus, Bear Kingdom Warship. Great white sharks swarmed. Bai Xuan concentrated his energy, circulated the spirit stones in his body, and condensed ice cones in the sea. When the great white shark was only 2 or 3 meters away from him, he launched them, attacking indiscriminately, piercing the bodies of all marine creatures present. Blood dyed the sea red, and the smell of blood spread. In just an instant, all the ocean beasts that wanted to attack Bai Xuan were killed on the spot, too dead to die. Bai Xuan opened his eagle's beak, and a terrifying suction force sucked all the corpses into his mouth, and the evolution points continued to rise. Swallow the mutated great white shark, Stage 2 and Stage 3, and gain 400 evolution points. Swallow the mutated great white shark, Stage 2 and Stage 4, gain 500 evolution points. There are also a lot of small fish and shrimps, which add up to a big sum point at the same time. This also awakened the third level ferocious beast deep in the sea. I saw a pair of huge skull eyes in the depths of the ocean suddenly opened, and the sea surface was choppy, as if some creature was about to break out of the water. Awakened? Bai Xuan's consciousness sensed that the third level ferocious beast was approaching him at an extremely fast speed. Suddenly, several tentacles, like giant pythons, attacked Bai Xuan. Bai Xuan took a closer look and saw clearly the true face of the third level ferocious beast, Russian. It is a giant octopus with tentacles that are more than 10 meters long and covered with spikes. It has a huge, round and smooth head with dark blue patterns. It is hidden deep in the sea and can change color and blend in with the surrounding environment. Bai Xuan flapped his wings, and several flying ice blades flew out, cutting off the incoming tentacles. Then, he opened his eagle's beak, summoned the spiritual energy in his body, gathered it in his throat, and light blue light shone out. Frost breath. A light blue ice beam shot out from Bai Xuan's mouth, forming ice wherever it went. It also penetrated the body of the third order octopus, freezing it into an ice sculpture. The third level octopus was dying, and its eyes looked at Bai Xuan in shock. It had never seen such a terrifying beast. "Don't kill me. I know I was wrong. Please give me another chance." It struggled to hold on, and then made a sound, begging Bai Xuan for mercy, asking Bai Xuan to let him go. The ice breath became stronger and stronger, and after a while, the third level octopus's whole body was frozen. Even though it had terrifying vitality, it could not withstand this attack, and all its internal organs and brain collapsed and died. Bai Xuan was ruthless, and didn't say much, so he swallowed it into his stomach. Swallow the third level angry sea octopus, 1 level at the third level, and gain 2000 evolution points. This was the first level 3 ferocious beast that Bai Xuan had killed. It was indeed very strong, but it still seemed so pale and helpless in the face of absolute power after all. Bai Xuan is a level higher than him. At the same time, he also obtained a high-grade spiritual stone, but it was absorbed by the octopus, and could only obtain 4000 evolution points. After that, Bai Xuan continued to devour sea creatures, becoming the largest in size, and gorging himself on them. Everything that could gain evolution points would be swallowed by Bai Xuan. At the same time, a large warship, followed by several smaller warships, sailed on the ocean. There were many naval guns on the warship, and covers similar to manhole covers were located on the floor of the warship, which stored various kinds of things type of missile. This behemoth travels on the sea, and not many vicious beasts can pose a threat to it. Even with the powerful radar system, those marine beasts are beaten into a stopper before they even get close to the warship. "Colonel, a large mutant creature has been detected in the sea ahead. Do you want to attack it?" An officer came to a colonel and reported what had happened. The officer was Colonel Shelby of the Zion Kingdom Navy. He possessed the 2nd level and 7th level strength. He was commanding this warship patrol. Shelby picked up the telescope, stood in the warship command room, and used the telescope to check the situation in the sea ahead through the glass of the warship. The water was choppy, blood stained the sea water for hundreds of miles in radius, and some pieces of meat surfaced, and the smell of blood could be smelled. "Float over here." This made Shelby frown and look solemn. These damn beasts have grown to this extent. Shelby was very talented, and received a lot of resources. In a short period of time, he was upgraded to the 2nd level and 7th level. His mental power was naturally very strong, and he could clearly feel the terror of the ferocious beast in the sea. "Colonel, according to reliable information, the sea area ahead should be the territory of a giant third order octopus. In the past 6 months, it has killed many ferocious beasts. It is very hostile to our warships and fishing boats, and there have been several attacks. Knockov, tell Shelby everything he knows." "Of course I know this. This warship patrol is also for this beast. We can't let it continue to destroy it unscrupulously." As a naval captain, Shelby naturally understood this, but he was still shocked when he saw it for the first time, especially the powerful aura. This made his fear of ferocious beasts rise several notches. Nowadays, many countries are occupied by ferocious beasts and have become purgatory on Earth. Other countries have increased their military spending in order to survive this disaster, but the situation in the bear country is not too bad. The Siberia region is about to be resolved, followed by the sea in the Far East Point, and Shelby is here to control the ferocious beasts in the waters of bear country, and is given an important task. It is quite a heavy burden to spare time, money, and troops to suppress the ferocious beasts in the sea. Shelby was also well aware of the dangers of this sea area, but he still accepted the task without hesitation. "Launch torpedoes to kill this beast." Shelby picked up the walkie-talkie and ordered, and soon several torpedoes fell from the tube into the sea, heading towards the huge beast in the sea at extremely fast speeds. Other missiles are ready to go, as are the naval guns. The personnel and soldiers, with serious expressions and holding live ammunition, are waiting for orders. In the sea, Bai Xuan was devouring ferocious beasts. It could be said that he was gobbling up whatever he saw. He also killed many ferocious beasts. Suddenly Bai Xuan noticed something. He turned around and took a closer look. What he saw was several torpedoes heading towards him at extremely fast speeds. F***K, you came for me. Bai Xuan gathered strength, gathered his spiritual energy on the eagle's claws, and swung out several cold air flying blades, heading towards the incoming torpedo. The two collided, and the torpedo exploded. The temperature of the seawater rose rapidly, and the water surface became choppy. Then, several huge splashes of water exploded, making loud crackling noises, and smoke filled the air. Report to the colonel. The torpedo seems to have been blocked by some force, and did not attack the third level ferocious beast. Nokov, with serious eyes, reported the situation. This ferocious beast is so terrifying that not even fish can harm it. Keep firing. Shelby slammed his palm on the steel table, making a big crater. Shelby was shocked and angry. Chapter 60 Retreat. Frost Eagle. The warship missiles and torpedoes flew out. Shelby watched the scene in front of him nervously, for fear of missing any picture. At this moment, the intercom rang, and Shelby picked up the intercom to answer. Major General, I'm a little busy here right now. I'll talk about it later, if I have anything to do. Shelby, come back quickly. You can't deal with that beast. Don't provoke it. A strong voice came from the intercom, and the tone was urgent. Major General, you underestimate me. I'm just a third order octopus. We have 3 warships, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Shelby frowned slightly. The third level octopus was indeed very strong, but they had the terrifying combat power of 3 warships. How could they be afraid of just a third level ferocious beast? Any other country might be frightened by this. The Zion Kingdom is one of the 5 permanent members. It has a profound foundation and strong combat power. It is also known as a fighting nation. How can it be afraid of a mere third level ferocious beast? That's not a third level ferocious beast, let alone an octopus, but a giant frost eagle with the reputation of being the pinnacle of ferocious beasts. The Major General sounded anxious. They used satellites to detect a giant eagle, and they had a detailed investigation of the ferocious beast. It is easy to find out the details of that eagle. It is the giant frost eagle that escaped from the Dragon Kingdom. This is huge news. They did not dare to take it lightly. They had been looking for traces of Bai Xuan in the past few days. Later, they discovered that Bai Xuan was flying at supersonic speed, heading towards the sea area, and then appeared in the sea area. The killing of a large number of ferocious beasts was exactly what Bai Xuan did. Why did that guy show up here? Shelby was very surprised. He had heard about Bai Xuan's situation. Half a year ago, he climbed to the top of the mutant creature with terrifying strength and extremely talented. I don't know how far it has grown now. The Frost Eagle. Colonel, we'd better get out of here quickly. The military orders were like mountains, and Rokos suggested with sweat dripping from his forehead. In addition, he is not even afraid of the most advanced torpedoes. How can he fight this? It is better to follow the arrangement and return quickly. Shelby clenched his fists, hung up the walkie-talkie, looked at the sea in front of him, thought for a moment, and then spoke resolutely. No. If this kind of scourge still exists, it will be a devastating blow to us. We vow to strangle it in the cradle. But, the Major General has already given the order. Disobeying military orders is a serious crime. Rokos quickly moved out the Major General to make Shelby change his mind. For the sake of the future of the Zion Kingdom, we are duty bound. Furthermore, there is an old saying in the Dragon Kingdom that foreign military orders will not be tolerated. Shelby quoted an old saying from the Dragon Kingdom, to refute and persuade Ruakov. This, Rokos sighed helplessly. He knew Shelby's character very well, and was very stubborn. No matter what difficulties he faced, as long as he wanted to do something, he would definitely do it. At the same time, the 3 warships returned, operating as fast as possible. At the same time, missiles, naval guns and other thermal weapons were always ready to deal with dangers that may come at any time. Those old guys are really getting better and better. I order you not to run away. Kill that beast for me. Shelby was emotionally unstable and used the intercom to order the officers and pilots of other warships. Report to the colonel. This is an order from the Major General. Military orders are like mountains. We have to obey the arrangements. Please forgive me, and I hope you can calm down. For the sake of the overall situation, and for your own safety, being reckless will only lead to sacrifice in vain. I have finished what I want to say. And Colonel, we have difficulty obeying your order. After that, the other party hung up the intercom. "Colonel Shelby, please don't embarrass us. Please calm down. Now is not the time. There is an old saying from the Dragon Kingdom that a small impatience will ruin a big plan. I hope you can listen to it." Rokos also tried to persuade him, and at the same time, poured Shelby a cup of coffee to calm down. Now they are still in danger, and acting on impulse will only lead to wasted sacrifice and the ruin of the entire army. Just as they were returning home non-stop, a sudden burst of ice rushed out of the water and hit the rear of the warship. The ice spread rapidly. After a while, the huge warship was frozen to 1/3. The warship's power was damaged, and the ice was frozen, making it impossible to navigate, and the sea surface was also frozen. This warship is the main warship Shelby is on. The warship shook violently, and finally the power failed. Shelby looked at the screen and radar to check the situation, and found that the stern of the ship was frozen. The other two warships stopped to check the situation. "No, our power system has failed." An anxious voice came from the intercom in the cab. "Can you blow off the ice on the surface and continue driving?" Shelby asked anxiously. "It's possible, but it will take a lot of time, and I don't have enough time." When Shelby heard the news, he became angry and punched the steel plate. Enter combat mode. At the same time, a huge figure rushed out of the water, stirring up a lot of seawater. Bai Xuan's huge and domineering body came into their eyes. This is too scary. Damn. How did this guy hold his breath in the sea for so long? And how did he resist our torpedoes? Quick, record it quickly and send it to the headquarters. This guy's wingspan must be 40 to 50 meters. It's as big as half of our warship. They were shocked by Bai Xuan's huge body and the cold air. They were dumbfounded and kept screaming. Some were so frightened that they screamed instinctively. "Attack!" Shelby shouted. Now he could only fight hard. "Colonel, you should leave here quickly and go to another warship," Rokos persuaded. After Shelby was silent for a moment, he nodded slightly, and then the two walked out of the command room and came outside. Another warship had already approached, less than 30 meters away. Shelby grabbed Rokos's back clothes with one hand, jumped up, and jumped onto the floor of another warship. The main warship aimed all its firepower at the behemoth in the air, and then most of the soldiers ran out and came in helicopters to another warship. Faced with the incoming fire, Bai Xuan let out a sharp and harsh eagle cry, which resounded through the sky, expressing his anger immediately afterwards. A huge ice shield condensed out and was located in front of Bai Xuan's huge body, blocking most of the fire attacks. Several positioning attack missiles turned around the ice shield and attacked Bai Xuan from behind. Explosions continued, smoke filled the air, and ice fragments fell. Shelby saw this scene. "It's a hit. I don't believe it can withstand such a terrifying and intensive fire attack." He thought that, even if these attacks did not kill the giant eagle, they could still seriously injure it. It would be better to capture it alive if it loses its combat effectiveness. This level of ferocious beast is of great research value. Chapter 61. Terrified, Veyron fighter. Just when they were complacent, the violent cold wind blew away the smoke, and then hundreds of ice cones shot out of the sky, each one 3 meters long, attacking the warship like a violent storm. Shelby also saw clearly Bai Xuan's current state. Cold scale hegemonic body, ice crystals like dragon scales cover Bai Xuan's body, crystal clear, domineering, golden eyes with cold light, strands of cold air rippling, huge wings spread, covering the sky and the sun, like a god coming. There's no injury at all. Shelby's pupils were shaking, and her tone was shocked. Looking at this behemoth in front of them, coupled with the pressure of death, everyone on the warship felt like they had entered an extremely cold purgatory. Their bodies could not stop shaking. At the same time, under the fierce attack of the ice pick, the warship was seriously damaged, and the personnel suffered heavy casualties. Only then did Shelby understand the true horror of Bai Xuan. "Colonel Shelby, come up here quickly. We can't stay here any longer." Rokos flew a military helicopter to the sky and dropped a rope. Shelby quickly grabbed the rope. He did not dare to continue fighting with Bai Xuan. This time it really scared him so much that he had already lost his will to fight. Put it this way, if God asked Shelby to fight Bai Xuan, he would shoot God without hesitation. Just like that, the helicopter took Shelby away from here without stopping. Under Bai Xuan's fierce offensive, 3 warships sank into the water. No one on the warship survived. Bai Xuan looked at the escaping helicopter, flapped his wings, and chased towards the helicopter. If you want to run away, there is no door. In the blink of an eye, Bai Xuan appeared in front of the helicopter. With one sharp talon, he smashed the helicopter into pieces and fell into the sea. Rikosfu died on the spot. Shelby held a piece of steel splint in both hands and floated on the water. He looked at the behemoth in front of him. The sharp eagle eyes looked at him coldly. Shelby was sweating profusely, as if he had fallen into an ice cave. After a moment of silence, he clenched his fists, gritted his teeth. Come on. I am not afraid of you. Kill me if you can. As soon as he finished speaking, an ice pick pierced Shelby's body. Shelby showed great pain and eventually died tragically. His eyes were wide open and he refused to rest in peace. He was also very unwilling. It's nothing more than that. Bai Xuan sank 3 warships at once without using all his strength. This made Bai Xuan better understand the strength of human weapons now. The gap is getting smaller and smaller. Now it is very difficult for humans to kill Bai Xuan unless they use nuclear weapons. But with Bai Xuan's speed, it is still easy to dodge, and if Bai Xuan's spiritual energy is consumed, relying on quantity consumption, and finally fatally knocking him down, it is very possible to defeat Bai Xuan. Suddenly there was a sonic boom from a fighter jet in the distance. Both on the left and right. Bai Xuan took a closer look and saw that there were 5 fighter jets coming, 3 Xiang 35s from the Xiang Kingdom, and 2 Varans from the Dragon Kingdom, all with speeds exceeding Mach 2. Forget it. Of the 36 strategies, walking is the best strategy. Bai Xuan didn't plan to fight them. If he was exhausted and support arrived, it would be a little uncomfortable. Bai Xuan spread his wings, circulated his aura, and his huge body soared into the sky. His speed gradually increased and finally reached twice the speed of sound. He flew at supersonic speed, leaving a light blue rainbow in the sky that could be seen on the ground. This speed is really terrifying. The pilot of the Varan fighter jet was shocked when he saw this speed with his own eyes. Is this the speed that a flesh and blood body can achieve? Since it ran away, don't continue chasing it and come back. The superior's voice came to the driver's ears. After hearing this, the driver changed direction and flew towards the Dragon Kingdom. Understood. The 2 Varan fighter jets from the Dragon Kingdom left, and the 3 Bear 35s from the Bear Kingdom returned. After chasing for a while, they came to rescue Shelby and the others this time. But now Shelby and the others have been wiped out. The Bear country has suffered heavy losses, and it is of no use to Bai Xuan. With such speed, defense, and attack power, even if they can kill it, the Bear country will suffer heavy losses. There are other regional ferocious beasts to solve. After weighing the pros and cons, I finally chose to leave it alone for the time being. Within the Dragon Kingdom, in the military command room, a middle-aged man wearing a camouflage military uniform and a sturdy back stood on the floor, holding a thermos cup in his hand and looking at the big screen in front of him solemnly. On the screen was the scene of Bai Xuan attacking 3 warships. The terrifying combat power and size made everyone present stunned and unbelievable, and they couldn't help but exclaimed, "Major General, the Xiang country has also retreated." A cold woman in military uniform stepped forward to report. "I know, Major General Long Jiuo responded. His eyes were always watching the video on the big screen. Bai Xuan's appearance made them feel a deep sense of crisis. I didn't expect that a 4th level ferocious beast would appear so soon. After being silent for a long time, Major General Long Jiuo sighed helplessly. There are countless mountains and forests in the Dragon Kingdom, and there are many ferocious beasts, and it is not very peaceful. But it was still barely stable, and there were soldiers guarding everywhere. Compared with other countries, the current situation of Dragon Kingdom is still very good. The food supply is affordable, and many resources, including spiritual energy resources, are available, and many spiritual beasts are cultivated to help humans overcome difficulties. As the name suggests, spirit beasts are spiritual creatures that are friendly to humans and become partners. The ferocious beasts are creatures with spirituality, but strong hostility towards humans. The most important thing now is to solve the problem of ferocious beasts in the territory. By controlling the number, it can also become a resource. After all, there are many treasures in ferocious beasts' flesh, and blood can enhance a warrior's physique, and hair, claws, and teeth can be used to make various things, even weapons. The most valuable thing is the demon core, which can be made into weapons and store energy. The frost giant eagle is already extremely talented, and is even called the top of the world's ferocious beasts. However, it is really terrifying to grow to this point in such a short period of time. The cold lady, after a moment of silence, spoke her inner thoughts. Indeed, not long after the other ferocious beasts advanced to the 3rd level, the frost giant eagle has already reached the 4th level. It's really so terrifying. Major General Long Jiuo slightly, and agreed with this statement. Void ice is indeed terrifying. This is the main reason why they call the frost giant eagle a 4th level beast. In its hands, the 3rd level beast has no ability to resist. Then, should these messages be uploaded to the list of ferocious beasts? Sister Gao Leng asked. Uploading news is bound to cause panic. But other ferocious beasts have been uploaded, and not uploading them would seem to be deliberately hiding the news. There's no rush. We'll wait until the superiors discuss it. Major General Long Jiuo waved his hand gently. The Dragon Kingdom dispatched 2 Veyron fighter jets only after the Bear Kingdom requested support. Otherwise, they would never have been dispatched. After all, this is related to the relationship between the two countries and the issue of sovereignty. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62, Uproar, Level 3 Rat King. The beast rankings are updated. The news of the birth of the world's first level 4 ferocious beast caused an uproar. There was almost an uproar on the internet. The giant frost eagle, whose whereabouts were unknown, appeared again, and even became a 4th level ferocious beast, which shocked them. They originally speculated that Bai Xuan was killed in the bombing, or that he fled to other countries to survive. These were the only 2 possibilities, and they argued about this for a while. But it is undeniable that Bai Xuan's image in their hearts is that it is no exaggeration to be the top of the ferocious beasts. After all, when other ferocious beasts are still at the 2nd level and 1st level, Bai Xuan ranks first with the terrifying 2nd level combat power. Top of the list. Keep a long distance from the ferocious beast below. And this time, it became the 1st level 4 ferocious beast. It was so powerful that it was able to destroy 3 warships and evade the pursuit of 5 fighter jets at the same time. How could this kind of fighting power not shock and frighten them? Holy shit. The 4th level ferocious beast. Is this giant eagle so fierce? Fortunately, this guy went to the bear country next door. If he stayed in the dragon country, it would definitely be a disaster. In Aimar, he single-handedly defeated 3 warships, and all the troops were annihilated. How awesome. Is this the strength of the 4th level? Then the 5th level is going to be awesome, and that supersonic flight, I can't even imagine what it will be like after the 5th level. I have just advanced to the 1st level, and there is news about the 4th level ferocious beast. It is very shocking. I would rather not go online today. Chicken, you're leaving Versailles, right? I'm still in the 7th stage of the 2nd stage. Did I say anything? This eagle is really beautiful and handsome. If Brother Atten saw it, he would definitely be very happy. That's it, right? I'll use these pictures today. If it's 10,000 explosive armor, it'll be gone in seconds with one strike. I've put the equipment below, and will delete it after an hour. At the same time, Bai Xuan ate in the sea, eating whatever he saw, and not being picky about food. Bai Xuan flew out of the water, and the sea area was almost eaten. Forget it. Let's just come here today. Bai Xuan knew that his traces had been discovered. However, the situation is not bad. With his own speed, he can avoid the attacks of most human weapons. Now it is difficult to threaten him. Bai Xuan flew back at supersonic speed and headed towards the far east. Bai Xuan has a lot to do next, including subduing some large and powerful ethnic groups, letting them work for him, and looking for spiritual stone resources. Bai Xuan flew to the far east, and came not far from the border between Xiang and Long Point. It has not entered the territory of the Dragon Kingdom, but is still in the territory of the Bear Kingdom. Point: there are no soldiers guarding here, but there are indeed many military surveillance cameras. Xiang and Long have reached a cooperative relationship and work together to overcome the difficulties. After all, in the face of this disaster, or even a catastrophe, it is better to have one more strong friend than one more enemy. Both sides have reached a consensus to work hard for the two countries, Xiang and Dragon, and even for mankind. Bai Xuan came to a ruined and empty city. It was obvious that there were people living here originally. However, because it was too far away from the capital of the Bear Country, it was difficult for supplies, weapons, and soldiers to support them. After all, ferocious beasts were rampant now. The Far East region and the Siberian Federation region were still temporarily inhabited. I can't control it, let alone take care of it. Therefore, the residents here have already moved away in the early stage of spiritual recovery and went to live in the western region. If they stay, they will be isolated and helpless. Sooner or later, they will become a meal for ferocious beasts. After the residents left, the city naturally became an empty city. Afterwards, ferocious beasts wreaked havoc here, and fights were common. Gradually, it became a ruin after more than half a year, which was quite a pity. Bai Xuan landed on the high tower, and looked at the situation below. The ferocious beasts were running rampant, strutting around the city, and some were hunting. It could be said that it had become a paradise for ferocious beasts. There are quite a few rats. Bai Xuan released his spiritual consciousness, covering the city, looking for the largest force of vicious beasts here. The houses and holes were filled with dense rats, some strong, some weak, and many cubs. Rats reproduce very quickly. How long has it passed before they formed a force capable of threatening humans? The strongest rat king has reached the 3rd level. He is huge and lives in a hole in the ground. Point: these ferocious beasts would also go to the border between the two countries, cross the fence or the river, and enter the territory of the Dragon Kingdom. However, they were wiped out not long after entering. Their flesh and blood bodies could not withstand the damage caused by thermal weapons. Gradually, fewer and fewer ferocious beasts go to the border, and more of them stray into the border in search of food. Bai Xuan opened his wings slightly, swooped down, and in the blink of an eye, he was on the ground. At this time, Bai Xuan was at his largest size, standing on a deserted street, but there were many ferocious beasts. Seeing such a huge thing and the aura emanating from it, I ran away and hid in the building, trembling and afraid to come out. Come out, that rat from the underground. Don't force me to dig you out myself. Bai Xuan shouted. Point: Rat King, holy shit, are you coming for me? The streets were deserted and silent. Point: Bai Xuan saw that the Rat King had no reaction and had no intention of coming out. Point: with a flick of his wings, a flying blade of ice hit the ground, making a loud bang, and the buildings in the street shook violently. Don't hit me, don't hit me, I'll come out right now. The voice of the Rat King came from the entrance to the cave in the surrounding buildings. Immediately afterwards, a large number of rats emerged from various holes in the ground. Some were piled up in the building, and some were shivering bravely came to the street, and appeared in Bai Xuan's field of vision. These rats range in size from big to small. The big ones are about the size of a cow, the small ones are as big as cats. There are so many of them that they are countless. After a while, a dense group of rats gave way to a passage. A giant rat with a body length of 10 meters was pitch black, with sharp red thorns growing out of its backbone, and its claws were the same color. Its tail was dark and hairless, and it looked at Bai Xuan anxiously with its round red eyes open. Master Eagle King, do you have anything to do with me? Are you bringing so many rats out to fight me? Bai Xuan gave the Rat King a blow as soon as he came up. How to conquer the Rat King later depends on its attitude and reaction. If you don't want to, just kill them all. If you devour them, you can get a lot of evolution points. Bai Xuan will not come in vain. I don't dare, I don't dare, I definitely don't mean that. The Rat King is well aware of Bai Xuan's power. It is a 3rd level ferocious beast with stronger mental power, and can feel more things than other ferocious beasts. You guys go down first. The Rat King ordered to the group of rats. After a moment of silence, the rats finally chose to obey the order of the Rat King. Some retreated into their holes, while others remained in the buildings, but there was not a single rat on the street. Chapter 63. Grateful for the honor? Right-hand man. So, can we talk about business now? Eagle King, why do you want me to do it? As long as I, the strong rat, can do it, I'm willing to do it. Shu Qiang's tone was flattering. Eagles are the natural enemy of mice, and the aura on Bai Xuan's body is so strong. Even Shu Qiang, who is the king of mice, can only be intimidated and try his best to please Bai Xuan and avoid unnecessary disaster. You are quite sensible. Bai Xuan's tone was much gentler. Thank you, Eagle King, for the compliment. Shu Qiang felt like crying, but had no tears in his heart. You are so strong. How can I not understand you? If not forced by the situation, who would want to do this? It also wants to maintain the majesty of the Rat King, but its strength does not allow it. Hand over 40% of your resources and work for me. This is what I want. It's too difficult for the mouse point. I'm the Rat King. I have to surrender 40% of my resources and work hard for it. It is so overbearing. How can I have the face to face the rat in the future? Where is my majesty? What a bully. Why don't you want to? Bai Xuan released his pressure. In an instant, many more cracks were added to the originally dilapidated building, which was on the verge of collapse. The rats hiding in the dark were so frightened that they did not dare to breathe. It's not that I'm unwilling, but I also want to save face. If you do this, Eagle King, how can I establish prestige in the clan in the future? Shu Qiang hesitated to speak, but finally said it bravely. You have to choose whether you want face or life. Bai Xuan stepped up his pressure. It's fatal. After Shu Qiang hesitated for a moment, he sighed helplessly. It's really terrible. Why am I so unlucky? Why do I end up with such an unreasonable ancestor? That's not enough. Don't worry. I think you are a talented person who can achieve great things, so I recruited you. Others can't catch my eye. As long as you work for me peacefully, I will never treat you badly in the future. You are not the first ethnic group to work for me. You don't have to feel so embarrassed to say it. You should be proud, right? After hearing this, Bai Xuan took back his pressure. His attitude became much better, and he began to enlighten. Is that still my honor? Shu Qiang couldn't help complaining. Isn't it? Don't push yourself too far, Bai Xuan looked at Shu Qiang with a half smile point in Shu Qiang's eyes. This smile was very penetrating and a naked threat. It is my honor to serve you, King Eagle. I feel extremely proud and touched by this. King Eagle, you can see my talent among all the ferocious beasts. I'm grateful. At the same time, Eagle, you, the king, are even more discerning about rats. Shu Qiang hurriedly praised him and said things that were against him will, but he felt extremely aggrieved in his heart. If he had no talent, how could he be the Rat King? Do you need to say it? As long as you are so grateful for the honor, my hard work has not been in vain. Okay, go and use 40% of the resources. I will only give you 5 minutes. Bai Xuan nodded with satisfaction. Why don't you hurry up and get it? Shu Qiang vented his anger to the rats in the building. This stupid eagle really bullied the rats. Woo woo woo. By the way, I want high quality, don't get confused. Bai Xuan did not forget to add, yes, get high quality ones for Eagle King. Move quickly and don't waste time. Shu Qiang wanted to cry but felt heartbroken. I had spent a lot of effort to save this, and it was going to take 40% off just like that, and it had to be of high quality. That's why I can bear this bird's anger. Yes, you got into the mood quickly. With your intelligence and talent, you may become my right-hand man in the future. Shu Qiang, please work hard in this direction. When I become prosperous, I will never treat you badly. Bai Xuan praised. Shu Qiang is so angry that his teeth are itching. Isn't this a big deal? Only a ghost can believe you. But on the surface, he still says things that go against his will. Thank you, Eagle King, for the compliment. It's better if you don't die. When you make a comeback, you will definitely change this frustrating situation, but it's hard to say whether you can wait until that day. After a while, the rats came to Bai Xuan with pieces of spiritual stones. piled them on the ground, then returned to the building, stuck their heads out of the window, and looked at Bai Xuan in fear, waiting for what they would do next. Eagle King, I brought you the spiritual stone. Please check it out. Shu Kayang looked at such a large pile of spiritual stones, and his heart ached to death. Very good. Bai Xuan sucked it into his stomach. Does the Eagle King have anything else to explain next? Shu Kayang wanted to end this conversation as soon as possible and didn't want to stay for a moment longer. I will come here every month and send a giant bear named Xiang Yan to collect 40% of the resources. You must also do your best to collect resources. I will also keep a close watch on the southern border. If there is anything big happening to humans, action, report to me as soon as possible. Bai Xuan explained. What is the border? And where do you live, Eagle King? Where should we report to you? Shu Kayang expressed his doubts. It's important to ask things clearly and don't make mistakes afterwards. Bai Xuan told him something about the border and then he used an eagle's beak to pluck a feather and gave it to Shu Kayang. He then roughly told him the location and asked him to inject spiritual energy into the feather when he arrived, and Bai Xuan arrived. Oh, okay. It's quite convenient. Shu Kayang nodded lightly. This giant eagle has quite a few tricks up its sleeve. If it can keep its word, treat its own tribe well, and treat its own people well, then it would be a good idea to follow it. Similarly, if you encounter threats, you can come to me for help. I can 100% solve the problem of ferocious beasts, and I can solve it 50% of the time with humans. Bai Xuan naturally provided him with some benefits. Bai Xuan could solve the ferocious beasts with a little effort. Human beings had some troubles, but they could not be solved and could be evacuated. It depends on the situation. Thank you, Eagle King. We really did not follow the wrong eagle. You have taken great care of us. From now on, we will do our best to serve you, through fire and water, no matter what. Shu Kayang pretended to be moved and spoke. Point, isn't this nonsense? The rats in this area are indistinguishable from ferocious beasts, and they can even defeat humans 50-50, which is what they think. Point, in this case, what's the use of Bai Xuan? It's better to pay a protection fee, to not be bullied by you. You are interested? Bai Xuan nodded lightly. Point. After talking for a while, Bai Xuan said hello. Point. Then I left and went to see other places. The harvest this time was pretty good. Bai Xuan needs these ferocious beasts, and they also need to become stronger so that they can better serve him. The spirit stone resources are naturally indispensable. If he turns in the resources on time and at the right time, he will not have to search all over the map to find them. It can also provide them with protection, which can be regarded as mutual benefit and win-win. The god of plague has finally left. What a bad luck. Shu Kayang only dared to speak his mind after seeing Bai Xuan leave. Chapter 64. Conquer the rats and black-scaled bears. Your Majesty, what should we do next? Should we pack up and run away, or? A rat, one size smaller than a rat, stepped forward. Other mice also squeaked, some expressing their dissatisfaction, while others were scared and seeking comfort. Are we, the rat tribe, going to be driven by eagles? I can't accept it. There is nothing we can do about this. You have seen the strength of that giant eagle. Even if we want to resist, we don't have the ability. That's what I say. But it's so frustrating. Don't be afraid, Xiaomi. I'm here and I will protect you. We'd better obey the Rat King's orders and arrangements. Shu Kayang sighed. Brothers and sisters, I heard from this king that, even if we all add up, we can't defeat that giant eagle. If we escape, it will be a disaster. If we are discovered. Therefore, I decided to follow what the giant eagle said. The most important thing is to save your life, and everything else is just a cloud. It means losing 40% of the spiritual stone resources. If we don't lack these, we can think of it as a loss of money and avoid disaster. Shu Kayang's words are reasonable and well-founded, but this is all he can do now. It's not a bad thing to take one step at a time, wait for the opportunity, and maybe serve that giant eagle. We will obey the order of the Rat King. Most of the rats shouted. Shu Kayang treats them very well, and they are convinced of Shu Kayang's status as the Rat King. Now that Shu Kayang has said so, and it makes sense, they will naturally obey Shu Kayang's orders. You are all good, so let us work together. to create miracles and build a glorious and powerful ethnic group. After hearing this, Shu Qiang nodded excitedly. Under Shu Qiang's passionate words, the rats regained their confidence and shouted excitedly, "Rat King! Rat King!" At the same time Bai Xuan came to a forest, where the snow had almost melted. The flowers and plants were revived, the birds were singing and the flowers were fragrant, creating a vibrant scene. "Your Majesty, the area in front is too scary. We have already killed 5 or 6 black bears. How about we continue to stay here?" An ape came hurriedly to report. What the ape reported was a huge black bear. The whole body was covered with black scales, or more like scales. It was oval and rhombus shaped, like dragon scales. Its defensive power could be imagined, and it must be very terrifying. Black Bear frowned. "I don't believe it. What can stop me from expanding? Your Majesty, we are not a match for humans yet. My subordinates believe that we need to stay away from the edge for the time being and wait until the time is right before we can expand our territory with all our strength." The golden-haired ape is 4 meters tall, with piercing red eyes and a respectful tone. It seems that it is in awe of this black bear. The black-scaled bear raised its paw, slapped it angrily, and with one strike, the big tree next to it was snapped and fell to the ground, with dust flying. "Damn humans, they only get in the way of my business. Your Majesty, please calm down. We still need to think about it in the long term. Now is not the time to fight against humans. The most important thing is to strengthen the tribe and be able to fight against humans. We will eventually defeat them and expand our territory." The golden-haired ape persuaded and comforted the black-scaled bear. "By the way, how's the attack by the black wolves going?" The black-scaled bear seemed to have thought of something and asked. It mutated from a black bear, survived in the Waxing Mountains, and gradually became the Black Bear King. Then it expanded its tribe, expanded its territory, and plundered the resources of many ferocious beast tribes at the same time. The ferocious beast tribe was targeted by the black-scaled bear. Either death or surrender. The black-scaled bear has lofty ideals and ambitions, and the consciousness of expansion seems to have been engraved in its blood. It cultivates hard and does not dare to slack off. At the same time, he is consolidating his position and suppressing the eager black bear commanders. There is only one king in this area, and it can only be the black-scaled bear himself. The golden ape is one of the ferocious beasts that surrendered to the black-scaled bear. He is responsible for reporting the situation and making suggestions, and is of great help to the black-scaled bear. He also speaks very nicely and makes the black-scaled bear happy every time. It's a bit difficult to attack. After all, the group of black wolves are not weak, and they are very united. It will take a lot of effort for us to defeat them." The golden ape was a little embarrassed, more uneasy. He also knows the temper of the black-scaled bear. The golden ape does not want to be a punching bag, so he will do his best to stabilize the black-scaled bear's mood every time, and then inform the black-scaled bear of the situation, and give some suggestions at the same time. In the end, it was up to the black-scaled bear to make the final decision. So, there's no good news at all. The black-scaled bear became even more angry, staring at the golden ape with cold eyes. "One thing is that the king's 9th consort gave birth to a cute black bear cub. He is exactly the same as you, the king. I'm really happy for you." The golden ape delivers the good news to the black-scaled bear. "What's there to be happy about? I already have so many heirs. Why am I missing just one? And there's only one. There's nothing to be happy about." The black-scaled bear was furious. This good news could not satisfy him. It requires higher information, resources, and territory expansion. "One can better inherit your great talent, my lord. I like to hear this, but I don't need such irrelevant news. Go ahead and attack the wolf territory no matter what the means, no matter the casualties. Give them a good beating. Even if they are exterminated, it will be fine. I will. There is only one request: to capture the territory of the wolf pack." The black-scaled bear lost some of his anger and ordered the golden ape to convey the order. "Yes, I will take my orders. By the way, your majesty, on the human side, during this period of time, the black-scaled bear has been sending ferocious beasts across the border to expand its territory, but they have never returned. With the ferocious beasts' vision, they can see the ferocious beasts that enter Without exception, the golden ape is well informed and has some understanding of humans. He also explained and persuaded the black-scaled bear that now is not the time to fight humans, but the black-scaled bear refused to listen and sent several waves of vicious beasts to fight the humans, and because it wanted to sit in the territory, it did not go out in person. If it wanted to go out in person, it would be blocked by the golden ape. It only gave up the idea of going out in person after trying its best to persuade it. Forget it for now. I'll just listen to you and not start a war with humans for the time being. The black-scaled bear was very confident at first, thinking that those hairless monkeys were weak and powerless. With a gentle breath from these ferocious beasts, humans would be helpless and fled in defeat. That area became the territory of its bear king. But the result was far beyond expectations. Not only did it fail to capture the forest, but it suffered heavy casualties, which gave it a new understanding of human beings. Your Majesty is wise. The golden ape flattered him. Chapter 65. Come out to me, Yuanjin. Just when the golden ape wanted to leave to do the things assigned by the black-scaled bear, suddenly there was a loud air explosion, and the black-scaled bear and golden ape immediately became alert, looking left and right, looking for the source of the sound. Who is it? Stop hiding. Come out here. The black-scaled bear opened its bloody mouth, spitting out its sharp fangs, and raised its head to the sky with a deafening roar. The bear's paws and back burned with blazing fire, and he took a fighting stance. The golden ape was hiding behind the black-scaled bear, looking around with vigilant eyes. What responded to the black-scaled bear was a 10-foot flying ice blade that flew towards him. The golden ape was hiding behind the black-scaled bear, looking around with vigilant eyes. Black-scaled bear stood up, the black flames burning in the bear's palms, and then swung out a palm, and the black fireball flew towards the ice blade. The two attacks collided together, making a deafening noise. The surrounding trees swayed. Some trees were set on fire, bursting into flames, while others were frozen into ice sculptures, exuding wisps of cold air. Didn't you hear what I said? Come out here. The black-scaled bear couldn't stand the bird's anger and roared. As soon as he finished speaking, a huge figure appeared on the black-scaled bear. It was Bai Xuan. He waved his eagle claws, leaving several bloody wounds on the black-scaled bear. At the same time, the huge body of the black-scaled bear was shot away. He went out and smashed a dozen towering trees before stopping. Strength and defense are pretty good, but his temper is a bit off. Bai Xuan's voice reached the ears of the golden ape and the black-scaled bear. It's you. The golden ape said in shock. It had escaped from the Daxing Mountains and had naturally seen Bai Xuan's terror. It was so frightened that it sat on the ground, its body trembling uncontrollably. The scene back then was still vivid in his mind. He had witnessed Bai Xuan slaughter a large group of ferocious beasts. At that time, he had far more ferocious beasts than at the same time, and now they are even more terrifying. The eyes of the golden ape were full of fear. You will actually be alive. Go away and stay. Bai Xuan glanced at the golden ape with contempt. Naturally, Bai Xuan cannot remember this kind of small character. Maybe he has seen him before. Yes, I'll get out of here. The golden ape turned around and ran away, climbed up the big tree, stood on the branch, and looked at the scene in front of him. It listened to Bai Xuan's words, and did not leave. Or maybe he knew that he couldn't escape from Bai Xuan's grasp, so he chose to listen to Bai Xuan's words honestly. Even the strong scaled defense of the black-scaled bear was broken open by a claw, and blood dripped, and it definitely couldn't withstand a claw. Who the hell are you? What are you doing here? The black-scaled bear gasped in pain and hissed. Its palms were covered with black flames, and it stared at Bai Xuan fiercely. At this time, it was like a powder keg, ready to explode at a moment's notice. I give you two choices now. Either serve me or die. Bai Xuan didn't say much, and directly gave the black-scaled bear two choices. This is also the only chance for the black-scaled bear to survive. Bai Xuan believes that the black-scaled bear's character does not meet his standards, but he still gave it two choices. If he answered no, Bai Xuan would kill it without hesitation in the next moment. Wishful thinking. Even if I die, I will not surrender to you. The black-scaled bear looked up to the sky and roared angrily, then got down on all fours and charged towards Bai Xuan fiercely. The next second, the black-scaled bear's head was separated, and its neck was bleeding like a fountain. Its huge body lost control and eventually fell, but it still fluttered instinctively. How is this possible? The golden ape had a clear view of the scene just now and killed the black-scaled bear with just one blow. This is too powerful. Bai Xuan grabbed the huge bear's head with his eagle claws, then threw it into his mouth like a snack, and the huge body of the black-scaled bear was also sucked into his mouth. That monkey, come here. Bai Xuan looked at the golden ape point. After hesitating for a moment, the golden ape jumped down from the tree and walked towards Bai Xuan uneasily. Eagle King, what's the matter with the little one? The golden ape recognized the reality clearly, felt uneasy in his heart, and forced a smile on his face, which looked uglier than crying. Is that stupid guy just now the king here? Yes, but not anymore, because I was eaten by you. Tell me briefly about the situation here. The golden ape kept the story short and told the truth. He reported the situation to Bai Xuan and did not dare to hide anything. He was not like the black-scaled bear who was impatient and would forcefully fight, even though he knew he could not beat him. In fact, it and the black-scaled bear are more like a cooperative relationship. Each has its own needs and is mutually beneficial and win-win. The golden ape had his own tribe, but he fled here and was unfamiliar with the place. He was eventually subdued by the black-scaled bear and became his right-hand man. Now that the black-scaled bear is dead, its tribe is also developing quite well. Although it can only be considered as the middle and upper reaches in the forest, it is still enough to survive. I see. This black bear king is quite ambitious. Bai Xuan has a general understanding of the situation here and is very satisfied with it. It would be great if it can be used by Bai Xuan. If it can't be done, just kill them. It doesn't mean they have to be there. He has ambition, but his brain is not very good. He is courageous and has a bad temper. The golden ape couldn't help but express his opinion about the black-scaled bear. You are very good. Are you interested in working for me? Bai Xuan looked at the golden ape with great interest. This guy was very aware of current affairs and met his own standards. However, the strength is indeed a bit worse, and the level is at the 2nd and 6th levels. Although it is considered very talented among ordinary ferocious beasts, it is very insufficient to control a large group. It's an honor for the Eagle King to think highly of me. The golden ape lowered his head and bowed to show respect. Very good. You are very good. I'm optimistic about you. Bai Xuan smiled when he saw this scene. This monkey is very smart and has a certain understanding of humans, but its strength is still poor. But it is more than enough to assist other black bears in finding more spiritual energy resources. Thank you for the compliment. The golden ape scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. May I have your name? Ape. Jin is the leader of the powerful ape tribe, and he is also the advisor to that stupid big guy just now, giving him advice. Seragain answered truthfully. You know a lot of things. Then, Yuanjin, go and summon the Black Bear King's men to my side. Bai Xuan said. The next step is to choose the new Black Bear King. They should be very angry if he kills their Bear King. If you don't want to, just kill them all and save yourself the trouble of looking for them yourself. That would be too troublesome. Gathering together and cleaning up together can save a lot of time and effort. Yes, I'll do it right away, Yuanjin said in a respectful tone. By the way, let me tell you in advance, my sense of smell is very sensitive. The implication is that I have remembered your scent. If you dare to run away, I will definitely find you and kill you. Chapter 66 Xiang Lei, Betrayal. Some time passed. Yuanjin came here with a large group of ferocious beasts. The leader of the black bear group was walking at the front. They had more or less scars on their bodies, some of which had not yet healed, and looked fierce. Xuanjin, tell us everything. Why did the Bear King summon us? That's right, let's talk about it, so we can be mentally prepared. The Bear King summoned so many ferocious beasts here. Something big must have happened. Whether it is good or bad for them is not yet known. However, their impression of the Bear King is that they are domineering and majestic and cannot disobey him. This kind of Bear King is both good and bad for them. The good thing is that the Bear King is ambitious and can lead them to a higher level, but the bad thing is that he is too irritable and has no plan. He is brave and foolhardy and keeps letting them conquer the territories of other groups and take them as their own. This did gain a lot of resources, but they themselves also suffered heavy casualties. Don't worry, you will know when you arrive. Yuanjin waved his hand. How could he tell them the truth? If they knew that the Bear King was dead and it was seamlessly working for other ferocious beasts, they would have to eat 8 Jin alive. Because of this, Yuanjin simply didn't explain anything. He said that it would be fine if the Bear King summoned them. If there was anything else, he would wait until he saw the Bear King to ask. You're so stingy. I'm wasting my usual kindness to you. That's right. Commander Xiang Lei saved your life. Is this how you repay your life-saving grace? Sarah Gain sighed helplessly. Don't embarrass me. Besides, isn't it coming soon? If you have anything, just ask it yourself. Humph, forget it. I don't really want to know. Suddenly Xiang Lei stopped and frowned. Something's wrong. There's a strange and powerful aura. The other leaders of the Bear Clan immediately became alert. When they heard this, they stopped. Their eyes were fierce, and they grinned and growled at the forest ahead. Hey, Yuanjin, where are you going to run to? Suddenly a leader of the Bear Clan noticed that Yuanjin was sneaking around and quietly moved towards the left direction. Come back quickly, Yuanjin. Don't run around now if the situation is not good. Otherwise we won't be able to take care of you, and you will easily be in danger. Xiang Lei was very vigilant and at the same time shouted anxiously to Yuanjin to stop running around. After Yuanjin heard what they said, he ran away and disappeared. Yuanjin thought that it would be better to stay away. Although it was a bit unkind, there was nothing he could do about it. If they knew about it, they would definitely take action on him. It didn't want to die in such an unexplained way. After the matter is over, apologize to Xiang Lei and the others, and ask for forgiveness. There is nothing you can do if you don't forgive. But the prerequisite is that they can survive. If they die, an apology will become nonsense. Stop shouting. I asked him to bring you here. Bai Xuan's figure flew out of the dense forest, then landed less than 100 meters away from them, stood on the ground, and appeared in their field of vision. Looking at the huge blue eagle in front of me, coupled with the terrifying aura and cold air on it, it is extraordinary at first glance, and it is definitely not an ordinary person. Xiang Lei glared at Yuanjin on the tree fiercely. Yuanjin, how dare you betray us? We must have misjudged you. We will deal with you when things here are over. Just wait, I will look good on you later. That's right, I have to break your legs. Yes, it must pay for what it has done. The leader of the Bear Clan felt very angry. He trusted Yuanjin so much, but this guy actually betrayed him. Erojin scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. Well, actually, the Bear King is dead. The Eagle King is also trying to recruit you this time. I hope you will think twice before you act. Take care of yourself, and don't do stupid things. It's not your turn to lecture us yet. Xiang Lei let out a deafening roar to vent the anger in his heart. He never expected that Yuanjin would betray him. He was obviously the bear who saved his life, but this guy actually betrayed him and spoke so grandly. I'll just shut up. Sarah Gain sighed helplessly. It was indeed his fault first, but he was forced to do nothing. The black-scaled Bear King kills whenever he says, let alone Yuanjin. Yuanjin can only do things according to Bai Xuan's orders. As the saying goes, those who understand current affairs are outstanding. I hope the final result is good for both parties. Also give yourself a chance to apologize. Let's get down to business. Bai Xuan stopped their argument. The Black Bear King was really killed by you? Xiang Lei looked at Bai Xuan warily. After a moment of silence, he asked to confirm whether the Black Bear King was really killed. Yes, it should have been completely digested by me now, Bai Xuan slightly, telling the truth, and not hiding anything. There is no injustice. Why do you want to kill the Black Bear King? Xiang Lei was very shocked. The arrogant Bear King was killed like this? It was a bit unbelievable. But after feeling the terrifying aura on Bai Xuan's body, it was not impossible for the Black Bear King to be eaten by Bai Xuan. Isn't it reasonable for ferocious beasts to eat ferocious beasts? If you want to ask that, then don't you eat other ferocious beasts and attack other ethnic groups without any injustice? Bai Xuan grinned. If he had to give a reason, it was that the Black Bear King was unruly and useless to him, and he could gain a lot of evolution points by eating him. In both cases, it would be difficult for the Black Bear King not to die. Sharp teeth. Stop changing your mind. Tell me honestly why you want to kill the Bear King. Aren't you afraid of our revenge? The Black Bear Commander next to Xiang Lei couldn't stand listening anymore and yelled at Bai Xuan, "It's just you? You're not qualified enough." Bai Xuan's eyes turned cold and a terrifying cold air burst out from the center. In an instant, the entire forest was covered in ice and the temperature dropped sharply. How powerful is it? The burst of such cold air in an instant and the aura on its body can actually make me lose my will to fight. I thought I was the only bear who could do this, but I didn't expect you would do it too. It's so powerful. We are no match for it. Me too. Otherwise we'd better run away. Xiang Lei stood at the front and could best appreciate the power of that aura. He gritted his teeth and exerted all his muscles, trying to control the instinctive trembling of his body. What exactly do you want? Looking at the scene in front of him, Yuanjin felt uneasy and his mind was thinking rapidly. He must come up with a way to protect himself and the powerful ape group. There are only 3 ways to avoid the retaliation of the Black Bear group. One is to rely on Bai Xuan to reach a reconciliation with the Black Bear group. The other is to stand on the side of the Black Bear group, but this will definitely offend Bai Xuan. The last way is to negotiate in the past to promote cooperation between the 2 parties, which is not considered cooperation. After all, this is completely unfavorable to the Black Bear group. Not only does it lose a lot of resources, but it also involves the dignity of the ethnic group. Chapter 67. Furious Xiang Lei compromised. Bai Xuan stated his request. When Xiang Lei heard this, he became furious. "It's not obvious that you are bullying the bear. Why should we listen to you? And do we need you to protect us? You look down on us too much, and you think too highly of yourself." The Black Bear tribe can be said to be walking sideways in this forest. They can only bully other ferocious beasts. How can they let other ferocious beasts bully them, let alone run wild on the bear tribe's territory? This is related to the dignity of the Black Bear group. How can Xiang Lei not be angry? It is not Yuanjin, so it is so easy to compromise. You sure? Bai Xuan's eyes turned cold, and terrifying pressure came out. The pressure made all the ferocious beasts unable to breathe. Inflicting actual damage. Some ferocious beasts couldn't even bear it. Their brains fainted, their eyes closed, and they fell to the ground. The ice on the ground was also shaken, causing dense cracks to appear. Xiang Lei, you will never suffer a loss by following the Eagle King. Just. Yuanjin ran to Bai Xuan's side, and then looked at Xiang Lei to persuade him. Xiang Lei was silent. The strength of this giant eagle was too terrifying. If he didn't agree, it might cause unnecessary casualties or even annihilation. But agreeing would be too undignified. Is there no other choice? The other ferocious bear beasts lowered their heads in fear, not daring to look at Bai Xuan. The Black Bear Commander who shouted at Bai Xuan before was even more frightened. His body was shaking uncontrollably, and sweat was flowing down his forehead. Whether you want dignity or live, you choose for yourself. Bai Xuan once again gave 2 choices, explaining that they may not listen to him, but using strong methods to make them feel scared. They will most likely choose to compromise, and then use both kindness and power, and most of them will do things for Bai Xuan. No matter what happens, Bai Xuan can choose other groups of ferocious beasts, but it doesn't have to be them. If they are exterminated, Bai Xuan can support other groups of ferocious beasts to come up, and he can still rule this forest. I'm willing to serve the Eagle King. A ferocious bear beast couldn't hold back its anger, and was the first to surrender to Bai Xuan. With one stone, it stirred up 1,000 waves, and more than a dozen black bears spoke one after another. I'm willing to. Xiang Lei turned to look at the talking black bears. You, Commander. Xiang Lei, there is no way around this. Why choose death when there is a way to survive? Furthermore, we only have 40% of the resources, which will have little impact on us, and we can save our lives. So why not? You're right, 40% of the resources won't have a big impact on us. Just give it to us. It's not a big deal. It's better than being eaten. What about you? Xiang Lei looked at the ferocious bear beasts that didn't speak. Those ferocious bear beasts hesitated to speak and finally fell silent, hesitant in their hearts, not knowing how to make a decision. Anyone who agrees, come to me. Bai Xuan smiled slyly. Now Bai Xuan can confirm that they are not ferocious beasts that are not afraid of death. As long as they want to live, everything will be easy. Those ferocious bear beasts who were willing to serve Bai Xuan walked towards Bai Xuan and looked at those hesitant fellows. 40% of the resources can save your lives. I think it's worth it. Likewise, I won't get too involved or interfere with your clan's affairs. You can still live with dignity. Just hand over the resources as per the regulations before leaving. I will eliminate some ethnic groups that threaten your survival and you won't lose, right? Bai Xuan persuaded them. Now that the Black Scale Bear King is dead, if they are still unwilling, even if Bai Xuan doesn't kill them. Other ethnic groups are bound to unite to eradicate the Bear Clan. So now there are only two ways before them, either live or die. After hearing Bai Xuan's words, more black bears chose to surrender to Bai Xuan and came to Bai Xuan's side. Now 3/4 of the black bears have chosen to surrender to Bai Xuan. But Xiang Lei was still wavering and hesitant, and those left behind were his good brothers and sisters who had been with him through life and death, and they chose to advance and retreat together with Xiang Lei. Xiang Lei looked at these bear companions who had been with him through life and death. After a moment of silence, he made his final choice. I'm willing to work for you, but you have to promise that I will never harm the Bear Clan. Xiang Lei knew that if he fought with Bai Xuan, there was only one way to die. It would be okay if he died, but it would be unworthy for those companions who had been with him through life and death to die because of his decision. Because of this, it is willing to compromise and surrender to Bai Xuan, but only if Bai Xuan can guarantee that he will never harm the Bear Clan. As long as you do your job well, I will never hurt you, and I can lead you to the top in the future. Your name is Xiang Lei, right? You should be aware of the current situation. It is not only ferocious beasts that threaten your survival, but also humans. If you continue like this, you will inevitably fall to your current status and find it difficult to rise. However, I can lead you to the top. Likewise, your choice is definitely not wrong. Finally, I don't have to do it with you. I can also support the rise of other ethnic groups and clear obstacles. Bai Xuan needs them to collect spirit stones for himself, and they need Bai Xuan to stabilize the status of the Bear Clan. It can be said that it is mutually beneficial and win-win. Under such coercion and induction, Xiang Lei lowered his proud head. Your words are enough, Eagle King. I, Xiang Lei, will do my best to serve you, through fire and water, no matter what. The same goes for other ferocious bear beasts. They all lowered their heads and surrendered to Bai Xuan. Wise choice. Bai Xuan nodded with satisfaction. It would be great to have another helper. He should keep up his efforts and strive to control the entire Far East region. Eagle King, I'm very loyal to you. I just led the way. They were more or less dissatisfied with me, so I asked Eagle King to help us resolve the estrangement. Yuan Jin was very clever. While Bai Xuan was still there, he asked Bai Xuan to explain a few words to resolve the matter just now, settle the past grudges, and get back together. I asked him to do Yuan Jin. Xiang Lei, please forgive me, and don't argue with him. Bai Xuan smiled. This guy is very smart. He knows how to let himself solve the problem, and his tone is respectful, which not only praises Bai Xuan, but also solves the problem. It would be great to let them complement each other and obtain more spiritual stone resources. Bai Xuan's harvest of 40% is already considered very good. If he collects too much, he will let the horses run away and not let them eat grass. It will not take long before conflicts will arise. This is not what Bai Xuan wants to see. It won't take long for them to know Bai Xuan's usefulness, and gradually, they will be able to surrender to Bai Xuan willingly. Yes, I understand. Xiang Lei agreed respectfully. However, when he and Yuan Jin looked at each other, he glared at Yuan Jin. Yuan Jin scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. Well, Xiang Lei, we are good brothers. Let what happened before be in the past. From now on, you and I will complement each other to better serve the Eagle King and strengthen the clan. Chapter 68. Hughesy successfully advanced to the next level. Let's compare. Bai Xuan accepted 40% of the spirit stones, and at the same time, wiped out all the surrounding ethnic groups, and gained a lot of evolution points and spirit stones. Just leave the rest of the tribe, or the ferocious beasts that live there, to Yuan Jin and Xiang Lei. As night falls, the bright moon shines in the sky. Bai Xuan returned to the area where he lived, which is the center of the Far East region. Let's see if Hughes's practice is over. Hughesy has just finished his training and advanced to the 3rd level. The purple lines on his body are more conspicuous. Sharp purple bone spurs grow on the tiger's tail. He is physically strong and is also a leader in the same realm. The horn on the head is darker and more crystal clear. The body length reaches 22 meters. It is simply a behemoth. Every step it takes will cause the earth to shake, just like a small mountain. Then a tiger roar echoed through the sky. Roar caused an avalanche. When many ferocious beasts heard the tiger's roar, their bodies couldn't stop trembling. It can be said that the majesty of the king of beasts was fully demonstrated. Bai Xuan stayed outside quietly, waiting for Huzi to come out. It looks like the promotion has been successful. Logically speaking, a 3rd order ferocious beast should have appeared here long ago. However, due to a lot of resources being robbed by Bai Xuan, and several top beast kings being killed by Bai Xuan, no 3rd order ferocious beasts appeared for a long time. And now Huzi has successfully advanced to the next level, becoming the first level 3 ferocious beasts in this area besides Bai Xuan. This is without a clan. If there is help from the clan, he will definitely be able to advance faster. After Huzi sensed Bai Xuan's aura, he rushed out of the cave and came outside. Seeing Bai Xuan waiting for him, Huzi stepped forward with a hearty laugh and shared the joy with Bai Xuan. Brother Bai, I successfully advanced to the next level. Hahaha. The power of the 3rd level is more powerful than it imagined. The spiritual energy stored in the demon core is very large, and the use of spiritual energy is even more skillful. You can also use spiritual energy to spread out and carry out long-range attacks. This made Huzi very happy, and smiling from ear to ear. Bai Xuan was also happy for Huzi. Congratulations, brother Bai. Do you want to challenge me? Huzi wanted to verify his current strength and proposed to compete with Bai Xuan. Okay. Don't hold back. Use all your strength. Bai Xuan nodded lightly. When he first entered the 3rd level, he was not enough to see Bai Xuan's 4th level. Even if Bai Xuan stood and let the tiger grow bigger, it wouldn't be able to hurt a single hair of Bai Xuan. And Bai Xuan also wanted to see whether Hughes's current strength was stronger than the ordinary 3rd level ferocious beasts. Brother Bai, be careful. I'm very powerful now. Hughesy is just talking, but in fact it knows the gap between itself and Bai Xuan. Even if it goes all out, it will be difficult to hurt Bai Xuan. But this is fine. Huzi can use all his strength without any scruples. I saw thunder flashing around Huzi, lightning and thunder, and crackling sounds. It was like a pet that was active all over the body. The purple thunder spread, the tiger's aura gradually climbed up, becoming more and more powerful, and then, a tiger aura resounded through the sky. Hughes's huge body flashed past, leaving only the purple thunder after image. The next second, he appeared behind Bai Xuan, carrying terrifying thunder and lightning in his tiger claws, and struck hard at Bai Xuan's back with a slap. There was a loud bang, the ground shook, the snow on the ground was shaken away, the land was exposed, snowflakes flew, and thunder flashed and destroyed wantonly. It's so cold. Hughesy withdrew his paws, and the palms just hit him on steel. It was still very cold, and even Hughesy, who had rough skin and thick flesh, couldn't bear it. I saw that Bai Xuan's whole body was covered with ice scale armor, which was the cold scale overlord body. Bai Xuan stood still, motionless. Continue. Okay. Hughesy went all out. The purple thunder gathered on the tiger's claws and swung out more than a dozen purple thunder flying blades, like claw marks. They all hit Bai Xuan impartially. Hughesy continued to attack, punching and kicking Bai Xuan. The tiger's tail and tiger's teeth all went into battle, using all available attack methods. Just like that, an hour later, Hughesy lay on the ground panting, with little energy left. No fight, no fight. I have tried every method, but I can't break through Bai Xuan's defense. This is what Hughesy expected. After all, Bai Xuan advanced to the 3rd level a long time before him. They are not on the same level at all, and cannot be compared. It's Pretty good to have this kind of strength just after being promoted. It's much stronger than ordinary 3rd level ferocious beasts. Bai Xuan lifted the cold scale hegemony from his body and was unscathed. Hughesy lay on the ground, rested for a while, and then said with a wry smile, "Compared to you, Brother Bai, I'm still far behind. After all, I have been promoted to the 3rd level for a while, so it is natural that I'm better than you." Bai Xuan sent some spiritual energy to Hughesy to help him recover some physical strength and spiritual energy. After that, Hughesy sat down on the ground with his front paws on the ground. "By the way, Brother Bai, is the bear in that area your little brother?" "Yes, what's wrong?" "Nothing, I just asked casually. The last time I met their leader, who was Xiang Yan, I thought it would be a difficult battle, but I didn't expect that not only did they not hurt me, but they treated me warmly. Then I learned something, so I came to confirm it with you." Hughesy told Bai Xuan what happened to him during this period. "By the way, I have sparred with that Xiang Yan several times, and we can't tell the difference. That guy is indeed very strong, but he definitely can't beat me now." Hughesy laughed loudly when he thought of this. Xiang Yan has rough skin and thick flesh, and extremely high defense. He has been defeated by tigers several times. But now that Hughesy has successfully advanced to the 3rd level, Xiang Yan is no longer Hughesy's opponent. We can wait until Xiang Yan has advanced to the 3rd level to discuss. Xiang Yan is not far away from being promoted to the next level. By then, the two of you will learn from each other and improve your combat experience with the 3rd level ferocious beasts. Bai Xuan expressed his thoughts. There were very few 3rd level ferocious beasts in this area. It would be great to have an evenly matched opponent to spar with. Bai Xuan didn't even want one. "I will, but not until I come back next time." Hughesy nodded slightly. "Come back next time? Are you leaving here?" Bai Xuan was a little surprised. This area is still very suitable for survival, but it is a bit colder. But for a rough-skinned and thick-fleshed beast like Hughesy, it is harmless and has little impact. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69 Hughesy leaves, 4th stage and 7th stage. Yes, I want to go back to the forest where I originally lived. Hughesy felt that as he advanced to the 3rd level and his strength increased greatly, he should be able to return to the place where he originally lived, which was more suitable for his survival. "Who do you want to know, Bai?" Xuan did not object or agree. After all, this is Hughes's own business. At most, I can give him some suggestions. In the end, it is still his own choice whether to go back or not. We have discussed it before. When I advance to the 3rd level, I will go back and have a look. If it doesn't work out, I will retreat to the forest to survive. I also have some understanding of the human border. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Hughesy and Huda have already discussed that this place is indeed not suitable for them to survive. The resources and food are not as rich as the original mountain range. There is a reason for this. On the one hand, it is a world of ice and snow. There are fewer ferocious beasts that can survive here than in the Daxing and Xiaoxing mountains. Most of the resources are controlled by Bai Xuan. There are also tribes of wild bears who wantonly plunder resources. For various reasons, the resource is naturally less, and Hughesy can't conflict with the barbarian bear group. It couldn't even defeat it before. Now it has the strength, but with Bai Xuan's relationship, it can't compete with the barbarian bear group for resources because of its face and relationships. I have already investigated over there. As long as you don't cross the border, there will be no danger. However, you have to be more careful. After all, that area is quite dangerous. Be careful when sailing a 1,000-year-old ship. It is always better to be cautious. Bai Xuan guessed the real reason why Hughesy wanted to leave. If you want to become stronger, competition is inevitable, and the barbarian bear group is Bai Xuan's subordinates. Hughesy will not do anything to them, and the resources required for the 3rd, there are so many levels that the resources in this area cannot be allocated. I understand. Hughesy nodded heavily. By the way, what did Xiao Hei say? Does he want to leave with you? After all, his talent is not suitable for this place, and he has mentioned to me the idea of leaving. Bai Xuan seemed to have thought of something and asked. It would be pretty good if Ziohei could leave with them. That area is more suitable for its growth, and the fire attribute cannot be buried in this cold place. I haven't asked it yet. I will ask it after a while. If it is agreed, we can leave together, so that we can take care of each other. By the way, Brother Bai, where are you? Huzi knew that Bai Xuan would most likely not leave, but it was better to ask clearly. If Bai Xuan could leave with them, they would naturally be happy to see it. With Bai Xuan, this powerful beast, covering him, no beast would dare to provoke him. No, but I will visit you when I have time. Bai Xuan needs to be in the center of this area, so that he can respond immediately to whatever happens. After all, there are still quite a lot of resources in the Far East. Bai Xuan must firmly control them in his own hands. Resources will pour into the central area from all directions to improve his level. When encountering a threat, they can take action immediately to defend the Far East region. Okay, we will come to see you often when we have time. Huzi had expected it and was not surprised or forced. However, the things that came to mind were not comprehensive enough. I only thought that this was in line with Bai Xuan's own attributes and did not think about it in other directions. Practice. Well, the situation will become more and more tense in the future. Not to mention playing an important role, but at least you must have the ability to protect yourself. I understand. Hughes's departure is responded also a good thing for Bai Xuan. If he grows up and can sit in that area, stabilize the situation and block it out, the pressure here will not be so great. After that, Bai Xuan told Huzi something. Bai Xuan had taken over 2 forces in that area and tried to avoid conflicts as much as possible. He also gave some suggestions on areas suitable for growth and with many resources. Where should Huzi go to develop? Bai Xuan plans to conquer all the ferocious beast groups in the peripheral areas in one go after the retreat is over, and then it will be the turn of the inner groups. Similarly, Bai Xuan will not conquer all, but only leave some, and try his best to select the first group in that area. The first or second strength can remove obstacles, so that they can better collect resources for Bai Xuan. Huzi agreed and thanked Bai Xuan at the same time. Early the next morning. Tiger Mother, Huzi, Huda, Ziohei, and Bai Xuan are all here. Bai Xuan said goodbye to them. Pay attention to safety and contact me at any time if you encounter danger. I will. Huzi laughed. He was very happy. Huzi looked much calmer and nodded slightly. Thank you, Brother Bai. Ziohei, you too. Pay attention to safety, Zio. Hey replied, Brother Bai has such great strength, how can he be in danger? You don't have to worry. Huzi said with a smile. After a while, they said hello to Bai Xuan and then left, heading south. Bai Xuan watched them leave and finally murmured to himself, hope everything is okay. Next, I will start to retreat. Bai Xuan flapped his wings and flew towards his residence. 1 month later. Race, Frost Spirit Eagle. Level, 4th level and 7th stage. Skills, 4th level spiritual skills. Frost Spirit Claws, Advanced. Frost Spirit Wings, Advanced. Cold Scale Body, Advanced. Frost Wing Blade, Advanced. Frost Flying Blade, Advanced. Extremely Cold Ice Rain, Advanced. Frost Storm, Advanced. Void Condensation, Advanced. Frost Breath, Advanced. System Skills, Eye of Identification, Communication with Living Beings, Swallowing the Sky and the Earth, Pressure of Death, Wishful Thinking, Immune to Toxins, Magical Power to Avoid Water. Evolution Point 150, over 900, 000. Right square bracket. After rising to 3 levels in a row and reaching the 4th level, Bai Xuan absorbed spirit stones at an increasing speed, devouring a large number of spirit stones in just 1 month. And then used evolution points to upgrade to levels. As the level gets higher and higher, more and more resources and evolution points are acquired, and we don't know when the 3rd spiritual energy tide will arrive. The spiritual energy does not burst out all at once. The spiritual energy is too strong and is not suitable for the growth of living beings. Before the spiritual energy is absorbed, the body cannot bear the explosion and dies. You have to eat the food one bite at a time. If you are too hasty, you will easily choke. Counterproductive. Bai Xuan slowly opened his eyes and ascended 3 levels in a row, making Bai Xuan much larger, with a body length of 20 meters and a wingspan of 52 meters. Bai Xuan guessed that by the 5th level, the wingspan should be able to exceed 100 meters, and what a shocking scene it would be by then. The demon core then grew in size, and is now about the same size as an adult's head. The aura is solid, and can store a lot of aura. The demon core is crystal clear, like ice crystals, which is in line with Bai Xuan's attributes, human. Bai Xuan's spiritual consciousness sensed that someone was coming towards him, not a fighter jet or a bomber, which made Bai Xuan a little confused. Aren't you afraid of being eaten by yourself? Chapter 70 Cheng Kunwei, Chinju, Mission. Several heavily armed helicopters flew towards the center. Logically speaking, this area is very dangerous, and there is also the terrifying beast Bai Xuan. Since Bai Xuan destroyed 3 warships last time, Xi'an Kingdom bombers and fighter jets rarely enter this area to be dispatched for bombing. They also fight together and will never come alone. And now they are driving 3 helicopters into this place, which is incredible. Not to mention encountering Bai Xuan. Just picking out a few 2nd level flying beasts will be a fatal blow to them, not to mention the 3rd level flying beasts. The beast's long range attack is still very dangerous for just 3 helicopters to enter here. This journey was really dangerous. I thought I was going to die several times. Fortunately, I was able to escape the danger and entered the central area. A young man in military uniform, named Cheng Kunwei, is also a 2nd level and 6th level warrior from the Dragon Kingdom. Facing such a harsh environment, he only feels a little cold and has no other discomfort. It can be seen that his physique is strong and he has been able to adapt to this environment. Another young man with thick eyebrows and big eyes snorted coldly before departure. Our superiors have long told us about the dangers of this time. If you are afraid, you should not come. If you come, you must be mentally prepared and be prepared to die at any time. I'm just saying this casually. I want to lighten the atmosphere and don't take it so seriously. Cheng Kunwei spread his hands, feeling helpless. This is his character, and he is not afraid of death. The man with thick eyebrows and big eyes did not give Cheng Kunwei a good look at all. Then please take this mission seriously. I know. I will be very serious, Cheng. Kunwei's tone was perfunctory. This mission is indeed very important and cannot be taken lightly. It is normal for a man with thick eyebrows and big eyes to say this. We are almost at our destination. Please stop saying a few words. The captain held a telescope in his hand and looked at the scene below. He found that many ferocious beasts had discovered the helicopter. Several large earth bears were chasing in the direction of the helicopter, with fierce expressions and roars. It seems to be saying, don't go near that place, be careful, these bears are not simple. The captain's expression was solemn. These wild bears were really difficult to deal with. They were very powerful and would throw stones or trees at the helicopter. They had to be wary of them. Understood, Captain. The helicopter pilot nodded slightly, his expression cold and unsmiling. They will launch an attack here when necessary, but they should avoid it if they can. Their mission is not to start a war, and they don't want to anger the giant eagle. The Far East region is really dangerous. The captain couldn't help but sigh. The Far East region is very large, and the territory of the bear country is even larger, but there are few people and cannot control it. Now there is a ferocious beast disaster, so it is normal for the Far East region to be unable to be controlled for a while. If we want to change this situation, the permanent population in the West and the Siberian region must also be solved, and then the Far East region can be solved. Due to the early use of countermeasures in the Dragon Kingdom, the country is still relatively safe. There are still many warriors who have risen and been trained. I believe that it will not take long to completely solve the problem of ferocious beasts, and then there will be the border issue. At the same time, there is good news. Humanity's military has been greatly improved. After those scientists mastered spiritual energy, their levels increased, and their IQs also increased. Research became smoother and smoother, and military technology became more and more developed. Captain, do you think that giant eagle is really here? Cheng Kunwei approached the captain and asked. The superiors have confirmed that it is 100% in this area. The captain replied swornly that there would be no mistake in using satellite photography. Why do you talk so much? The man with thick eyebrows and big eyes is named Chenju. He has the 2nd and 7th levels. He is considered to be in the upper reaches of the Dragon Kingdom warriors. There are 2 meteor hammers behind them, all black in color. These are weapons forged with special spiritual energy materials. Both in terms of lethality and hardness, they are very terrifying. Injecting spiritual energy has unexpected effects. They all have their own weapons, which are very heavy, hundreds or even thousands of kilograms. Fortunately, they are military helicopters that can carry a large number of weapons. Do you have a problem with me? Why are you always targeting me? Chen Kunwei looked unhappy. This guy was always looking for trouble, which was very annoying. His good mood was ruined by him. I still say what I said before. Take it seriously and don't drag us down. Chen Ju's words were reasonable and well-founded. Otherwise Chen Kunwei would not be so good-tempered and would not be angry. Forget it. I won't argue with you. Chen Kunwei ignored Chen Ju. Lying down at the window, looking at the situation below. It was covered with snow and ferocious beasts were rampant. Suddenly Chen Kunwei's pupils shrank and he shouted, "Get out of the way." I saw a huge cone-shaped rock spur attacking the helicopter in the sky at an extremely fast speed. Nima, what kind of strange power is this? The captain was extremely shocked when he saw this scene. Such a big rock can be thrown away at any time. It is worthy of the Earth's wild bear tribe. Its power is really terrifying. That's the Bear King? Chen Kunwei pointed at the largest earth bear in the distance, which looked like a hill. It stood up and roared to the sky, resounding through the sky. Then he threw several huge rock cones and attacked the helicopter. Come point, this giant bear is Xiangyan. At this time, it has advanced to the 3rd level. It had a chance to advance by luck when it saw a helicopter breaking into the place, and it seemed to be approaching Bai Xuan's residence with purpose. It made it extremely angry. It seems that he has advanced to the 3rd level. The captain replied. There are really more and more 3rd level people now. The 3rd level Siberian tiger on the border is a huge threat to the border. It also masters the attribute of thunder and lightning, and its aura can be used with great proficiency. This is not the first time Chen Kunwei has seen a 3rd level ferocious beast. He has fought against a 3rd order ferocious beast in the Waxing Mountains before, namely Huzi. It was also the first time that he experienced the terror of a 3rd order ferocious beast in person. At damn beast, if I hadn't been on a mission, I really wanted to shoot you. Chen Ju looked at Xiangyan, who was showing off his power below, and said, how about I'll let you go down and have a fight with it? Chen Kunwei said, don't make such a joke. The captain slapped Chen Kunwei's helmet and scolded. I understand. Chen Kunwei responded aggrievedly. Seeing this scene, Chen Ju lost a lot of his anger just now, and the corners of his mouth raised slightly, a bit gloating about his misfortune. He looked at Chen Kunwei like this, and it was self-evident. Why are you laughing? Chen Kunwei was furious when he saw this. Did I laugh? You didn't laugh at me. You are too sensitive. Why should I laugh at you? Chapter 71 changes in size anytime and anywhere. Cooperation? At the same time, an eagle's cry echoed through the sky. Chen Kunwei and Chen Kunwei quickly covered their ears. Aftershocks spread from the top of the mountain, shaking the helicopter. The helicopter shook violently, making Chen Kunwei and the others feel very uncomfortable. The captain quickly picked up the loudspeaker. We don't mean any harm, and we also ask the Eagle King to come out and see you. After a while, the hawk's cry suddenly stopped. The aftermath dissipated, and the helicopter stabilized its flight and stayed where it was in the air. The captain looked around and saw a huge figure heading towards this direction at supersonic speed. The captain suddenly became alert and broke into a cold sweat. Hopefully it can calm down a little bit. The captain picked up the walkie-talkie and asked the officers of the other 2 helicopters, do you want to land? After all, it is more convenient to communicate on the ground, and it also allows them to see their sincerity. Let's land. After a moment of silence, a voice came from the other side. Point after that, 3 helicopters landed on the ground, and the soldiers quickly walked out and stood on the snow, arranged in an orderly manner. They were very nervous inside, but on the surface they were calm. The other 2 helicopters were from the Xi'an Kingdom camp. They came here to reach cooperation with Bai Xuan. They had heard before that Bai Xuan could understand the language of the Dragon Kingdom, so they invited the Dragon Kingdom military to come here. Promote cooperation. Humans, what are you doing here? Bai Xuan landed on the snow, and with his huge body, he looked at them condescendingly, his eyes showing coldness, not to mention that he was coming to trouble him again. But if you want to create trouble first, get some high-tech weapons. With such a small number of people, 3 helicopters, and some thermal weapons, it would be too much to look down on yourself if you want to cause trouble for yourself. Seeing Bai Xuan uttering human words, the captain was slightly startled. After coming back to his senses, he said, "We don't have any bad intentions. We are here for cooperation and want to talk to you." The soldiers and officers of the Xi'an Kingdom looked at Bai Xuan warily and remained silent. They wore translators and listened to the conversation between the captain and Bai Xuan. What good cooperation can we have? When Bai Xuan heard this, he felt puzzled. There was a quarrel some time ago, but now he came to cooperate with him. If something goes wrong, there must be a monster, so it is better to be cautious at the same time. Xi'an Yan led dozens of second-order wild bears and rushed here without stopping, surrounded humans and helicopters, bared his teeth, and stared at humans fiercely. Their impression of humans is not very good, and they need to ensure the safety of their territory, so this appearance is natural. The soldiers of the Dragon Kingdom and the Bear Kingdom picked up their weapons one after another and put themselves in combat postures. Looking at the huge monster that surrounded them in front of them, their backs were soaked with cold sweat. Some soldiers even trembled uncontrollably. They were used by such ferocious beasts. Staring with such eyes, they will inevitably feel scared, which is normal. Eagle King, I want to talk to you about the Siberian region. That area is not under my control, so there's no point talking to me, but with your status and strength, you can solve it quickly, right? So, what? Why should I help you? Besides, the relationship between you and me is not good enough for me to help you. Is it possible to help you deal with the vicious beast? Do you think it is possible? Bai Xuan still needs the Siberian region to stop the bear country's attack and let Bai Xuan solve it. How is that possible? It's cooperation. We will pay you. Likewise, you can ask for any conditions. As long as we can achieve it, we will try our best to agree to it. The captain wiped the sweat from his face with his hands. It was a cold day, but he was so nervous that he kept sweating. However, with their physiques far exceeding ordinary people, they did not feel much discomfort. Remuneration? Tell me. Bai Xuan said with interest. Before that, Eagle King, can you tell them not to get so close to us? It's scary. The captain looked around. The huge creatures with fierce eyes looked like they might rush up and tear them into pieces at any time, which made him feel very uncomfortable and nervous. Back off, don't worry, they can't threaten me yet. Bai Xuan looked at Xi'an Yan and motioned for him to retreat with the bear. Yes. Xi'an Yan calmed down and responded respectfully. Then he retreated with a dozen second-level wild bears, staring at humans in the forest a few hundred meters away. Once humans make any moves, they would immediately take action to help Bai Xuan solve the problem. We can talk now. Bai Xuan shrank his body and stood on the snow, 2 meters high. This also shows that Bai Xuan intends to cooperate. Where the cooperation can be achieved depends on their sincerity. 3,000 low-grade spiritual stones. Eagle King, how about you help us drive the ferocious beasts from Siberia to the Far East? 3,000 low-grade spiritual stones? Do you think it's reasonable for me to deal with such a large area? Bai Xuan sneered. 3,000 is too few, and it still can't impress Bai Xuan. It's so awesome to change size anytime and anywhere. Chen Kunwei exclaimed when he saw Bai Xuan shrinking his body. Bai Xuan felt speechless. What does it mean to change size anytime and anywhere? Shut up. Chen Ju didn't expect Chen Kunwei to say such a thing in such a tense situation. He was so bold. Or rather, he was brainless. I really don't understand why this kind of person is sent here. Others also stared at Chen Kunwei with displeasure. in this situation, and in the mood to say this, one might really be annihilated. I'm sorry. He was a little shocked for a while, and he was outspoken. Please forgive me, Chen. Ju quickly put in a good word for Chen Kunwei to ease the tense situation. Chen Kunwei also noticed his gaffe, clasped his hands together, and apologized quickly. I was outspoken at the time, so please forgive me. I'm sorry, Eagle King. The captain forced a smile and wanted to say something. It's the size you want, not the size that changes anytime and anywhere. Bai Xuan didn't feel angry, but was speechless as he explained. Forget it. Let's get down to business. If there is only such a small reward, I don't think there is any need to continue talking between us. Let's go back and forth where we started. 3,000 low-grade spiritual stones are not enough for Bai Xuan to fill his teeth. It is not that Bai Xuan cannot give them to the Siberian region, but the benefits must be increased, otherwise there will be no discussion point. After all, the Far East area is so big. It would be good to drive those ferocious beasts here to guard the south and west. If they are too scattered, they will be defeated one by one. Chapter 72. There are no eternal enemies, only eternal interests. Please give us some time. We need to report to our superiors and we can give you the answer after discussion. The officers of the Xiang Kingdom spoke with respect. After all, this was Bai Xuan's territory, and the terrifying strength Bai Xuan had shown before made them feel afraid. At the same time, they also wanted to ask Bai Xuan, otherwise they would never come to cooperate with a ferocious beast. They were unwilling, but there was no way. Now they had to solve the Siberia area and stabilize the situation. They have more time to develop spiritual weapons and follow warriors. When the cannon goes off, there is 1,000 taels of gold. Now is a period when the world structure is changing. If they have not yet made practical progress in the field of spiritual energy, they will fall behind other countries in the future and will not even have the ability to resist vicious beasts. This is not what they want to see, and they also want to survive in this chaotic situation and even become the world's hegemon. If it doesn't work, they can only use nuclear weapons to attack, but the risk is too high, and it can easily spread to densely populated areas. It can be said that they will kill 1,000 enemies and damage themselves 800, and it will cause great damage to the land and violate the United Nations Treaty. They will not use nuclear weapons unless absolutely necessary. The captain performed his duties and stepped forward to translate. He means. Before he could finish speaking, Bai Xuan interrupted. No need to translate. I can understand. I will give them time to discuss. But there is only 10 minutes. Once the time is up, if there is no discussion, we can go back and forth from where we came. Don't waste my time. After hearing Bai Xuan's words, everyone was shocked. Damn it, this giant eagle can not only understand the language of the dragon country, but also understand the language of the bear country. This is an incredible rhythm. Do you really understand? Officer Xiang Jiuo looked incredible. As far as he knows, Bai Xuan has never been exposed to the language of the bear country. How can he understand it? He is not self-taught. His previous strength was an eye-opener for them. Then his size was Ruai, and now he is proficient in both languages. No, there is also animal language, which is very scary. Understood. Hurry up and don't waste any more time. Bai Xuan seemed a little impatient. Living things communicate. Bai Xuan naturally understands the meaning of the languages of all creatures, but he cannot speak the language of the bear country. Officer Xiang Jiuo was wearing a translator and could understand what Bai Xuan said. Okay, I'll contact you right away. Just wait a moment. After Xiang Jiuo's officer finished speaking, he ran into the helicopter in a panic and started to contact the superiors. May I ask the Eagle King's name? Can you tell us? The captain asked. This is also to enhance the relationship. There are no eternal enemies, only eternal interests. Maybe we can continue to cooperate and win-win in the future. And if the giant eagle is not hostile to the Dragon Kingdom, it is also a good thing. But judging from the current situation, it is definitely hostile. It is good to have no enemies to meet and be extremely jealous. Because of this, the captain wants to ease it. Let's talk about the relationship between the two. The Dragon Kingdom also needs to develop spiritual weapons, optimize techniques, and increase the number of warriors, but these require time, energy, and resources. In terms of spiritual energy, humans still have a long way to go, and ferocious beasts are no exception. Who can have the last laugh is anyone's guess, or they can be isolated, develop independently, and have temporary peace point. But if we want eternal peace, it is impossible under the current situation. Sooner or later, we will have a war. Only in this way can we lay the foundation and distribute the benefits to who has more and who has less. Just call me Da Bai or Eagle King. After Bai Xuan was silent for a moment, he responded lukewarmly, then, "Can we call you Mr. Bai?" The captain smiled and nodded. Bai Xuan could tell them their names, which meant that there was still a chance for the relationship to ease. The captain was very happy about this. "Whatever you want. By the way, Mr. Bai, our Dragon Kingdom intends to cooperate with you in trading. Do you agree?" The captain remembered the purpose of this time and could tentatively inquire about the transaction if there was a chance of cooperation. "What's the deal? Let's talk about it." Bai Xuan looked at the captain with interest. Bai Xuan would definitely not agree if it were to expand the mountain range. That area is very suitable for developing the strength of ferocious beasts and is rich in resources. It can also serve as a buffer zone to prevent people from being pushed all the way here. Because of this, Bai Xuan will never give up this area. Only by defeating yourself can you grab this area. Further, Xiang Guo would probably not agree, so this should be unlikely. "Can you give me 500 milliliters of blood and feathers? If there are other things on your body, we can use spiritual stones to buy them." The captain calmed down and had already prepared for the worst and bravely said what he wanted to trade. It is difficult to get these things. After all, the giant eagle has its own pride and dignity and is unlikely to trade its own body for a mere spiritual stone. It doesn't matter if you don't agree. Business is not humane. Don't damage the friendship between us. Do I have any friendship with you? He put me to death several times. I will never forget these things. There's nothing we can do about it. Eagle King, please be considerate and understanding. Sweat broke out on the captain's forehead, and the situation suddenly turned tense again. Point in the final analysis, they still have different positions, and they are all considering their own interests. Faced with this rapidly rising beast that threatens the status of mankind, the Dragon Kingdom has to take precautions. This is normal. As for Bai Xuan, as a ferocious beast, he was naturally suffocating in his heart when he was targeted and attacked in this way. In addition, he also had to survive, and it was for his own benefit, and he would not let others slaughter him. It is natural to have this attitude towards them. The same is true for the attitudes between ferocious beasts and humans. They are all centered on their own interests, and more importantly, for survival. Survival of the fittest, natural selection. The weak eat the strong, and the fittest survive. This is an eternal law. Forget it. Tell me how many resources you can use to trade with me. It's just a little blood feather. What Bai Xuan relies on is not his own bloodline, but the system, devouring skills to improve his level and strength. If you can use such a small amount of things in exchange for a large amount of resources, it won't be a loss. How about 3,000 low-grade spiritual stones, plus 50 middle-grade spiritual stones? The captain quoted a price, which was the price given by the military. 3,000 low-grade spiritual stones and 50 mid-grade spiritual stones. This is not a small amount. In the Dragon Kingdom, a low-grade spiritual stone can be sold for at least 10,000 Dragon Kingdom coins. It is still priceless, but has no market. It is possible to increase the price to 30,000 to 40,000 yuan. In the early days, there were more, but now that there are more spiritual stones in various places, the price can be reached. Middle grade spiritual stones can be sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and high grade spiritual stones can cost millions, or even tens of millions. They are still priced but not marketable. Chapter 73. I can barely accept it and reach cooperation. Too little. Bai Xuan thought he could raise the price even more. 4,000 low-grade spiritual stones, plus 80 mid-grade spiritual stones. This is our final price. The captain closed his eyes and immediately gave the highest price. Barely acceptable. Bai Xuan looked reluctant and agreed. 4,000 low-grade spiritual stones are 400,000 evolution points, and 80 mid-grade spiritual stones are 80,000 evolution points for second-level warriors. Middle-grade spiritual stones are extremely important. and their value is naturally higher, far higher than the price on the market high. The same is true for Bai Xuan. The evolution points are only superficial. He also swallows spiritual energy and improves his own level. The help to him is much higher than that of low-grade spiritual stones. For Bai Xuan, 500 milliliters of blood is almost the same as accidentally cutting the skin and bleeding out a drop of blood, not to mention feathers. Just pull one out casually, it's harmless. Bai Xuan naturally won't position feathers. Ordinary feathers are enough. Happy. Cooperation. The captain was overjoyed and instinctively stretched out his palm to shake Bai Xuan's hand. Only after extending it did he realize something was wrong. Point after all, Bai Xuan is a ferocious beast and doesn't understand human etiquette. It would be a disaster if he took this as a provocation. Furthermore, Bai Xuan doesn't have palms, so he can't shake hands. Just as the captain was about to explain, Bai Xuan stretched out his wings, put the top feathers on the captain's palm, and shook hands symbolically. A pleasure to work with. The captain smiled and nodded. I hope there will be a chance to cooperate next time. A little cold. This is how the captain feels now, as if his palm is placed on a piece of ice, which makes the captain shiver. So, when will the spirit stone be delivered? Bai Xuan asked. Pay the money with one hand and deliver the goods with the other to avoid fraud, which is good for both parties. I'll send someone to deliver it right now. It can arrive in an hour at most. After the captain finished speaking, he ran towards the direction of the helicopter, preparing to inform his superiors of the news and then send someone to deliver the spirit stones. Spiritual stones are now very valuable hard currency, and gold are not worth mentioning in front of them. Chen Kunwei, Chen Ju, and the soldiers of the Xiang kingdom were all stunned. This IQ was too high. He also knew how to bargain and was very good at bargaining. They did not deliver the goods immediately, but waited for the spirit stones to be delivered. Goods. Mr. Bai, I have a question for you. Chen Kunwei couldn't restrain his curiosity and stepped forward to communicate with Bai Xuan without permission. Kunwei, stop making trouble. Although Chen Ju felt that Bai Xuan was easy to talk to, the ferocious beast was moody, so it was better to be careful. I'm in a good mood today. Let's ask. Bai Xuan did not feel offended, but replied calmly, how did you evolve so fast? Curiosity drove Chen Kunwei to ask for details. It would be better if he could get some experience and guidance. Of course, it's resources and talent. What's there to ask? Bai Xuan responded casually. Naturally, he wouldn't tell the truth. He can only know about the system himself. I see. Thank you for letting me know. Chen Kunwei thanked him politely, but he had a lot to say in his heart. Isn't this nonsense? Chen Kunwei didn't believe Bai Xuan's words. No matter how talented he was, he couldn't grow up so fast. Not long after other ferocious beasts or warriors advanced to the 3rd level, this guy had already reached the 4th level. Who would believe that he was gifted? There must be some opportunity and treasure. Sorry for the offense. Chen Ju pulled Chen Kunwei back to where he was. After returning, he would definitely complain to his superiors. This is not only irresponsible for his own life, but also harmful to the entire group. If such a person is not reprimanded and taught a lesson, he will not be able to understand the consequences. Maverick, they don't dare to hand over their backs to such teammates. It's too disrespectful of other people's lives. The other soldiers didn't look at Chen Kunwei very well and were very dissatisfied with his behavior, but due to the relationship between the two countries, they didn't say much. After a while, the Xiang GUO officers concluded their discussion and came to Bai Xuan. Hello, Your Excellency, Your Majesty the Eagle King, we are willing to offer you 4,000 low-grade spiritual stones, plus 50 pieces of medium-grade spiritual stones as a reward. Please help us, Your Excellency, the Eagle King, to resolve the matter in the Siberia region. Too little, not enough. After Xiang Guojin hesitated for a moment, he continued to increase the price. 5,000 low-grade spiritual stones, plus 50 medium-grade spiritual stones. This is our final price. The territory of the Bear Kingdom does have a lot of spiritual stone resources, but 2/3 of they are in the hands of the ferocious beasts. They want to control the Siberian region so that they can obtain more spiritual stones through the future spiritual energy tide point. After all, spiritual stones are now hard currency. If there were no ferocious beasts, the bear country would have a large territory, rich spiritual energy resources, and a small population. If distributed evenly, it would be able to cultivate many warriors. However, the environment is harsh and the military cannot be deployed to major areas, which leads to this situation. There is no way to do this. The recovery of spiritual energy comes too suddenly. If they had known about it earlier, they would definitely increase military spending and deploy to all parties on all fronts, control the number of ferocious beasts as soon as possible. Sincerity is still not enough. As you know, it will take me a lot of effort and time to complete such a large area, so I will add a little more or reduce the area. Bai Xuan shook his head slightly. In the Siberian region, Bai Xuan could earn spiritual stone resources by doing it, but who would object to having too many resources? If you can earn more, you will naturally earn more. If we add an additional 1000 low-grade spiritual stones to the original base, the area will be reduced by 1/3. This is the final price we can offer. The Xiango officer sighed helplessly. For the sake of the overall situation, the situation in the Siberian region must be controlled as soon as possible. They originally thought they would be able to solve it soon, but they didn't expect that the number of ferocious beasts would increase so fast. The killing speed was not as fast as the reproduction speed. They miscalculated and underestimated the strength of the ferocious beasts. The number of reproduction is also one of the weapons that ferocious beasts can use to compete with humans. In addition, the environment in that area is harsh, the area is vast, and ferocious beasts are scattered, and they often raid areas where humans live. Large-scale bombing is too expensive and will not have much effect. In addition, the opportunity has been missed, so they have to don't come to cooperate with Bai Xuan. With Bai Xuan's terrifying strength and being able to communicate with fellow ferocious beasts without any barriers, it should be easy to do. They can also find time to upgrade warriors and invest manpower and resources into spiritual weapons. I promise you at a slight loss. The price reached Bai Xuan's expectation, and Bai Xuan agreed. It is also very good to subdue the ferocious beasts in Siberia and then place them on the border for guarding. The ferocious beasts can also develop, and they will not continue to fight with humans, but a large number of ferocious beasts will die. There are pros and cons, but overall, the pros outweigh the cons for both parties. Chapter 74. Reach cooperation and keep rising. For the sake of the interests of both parties, we propose to give you half of the reward first. When Eagle King has almost completed your work, we will pay the remaining reward. Eagle King, do you agree to this proposal? Naturally, Officer Xiang will not pay all the remuneration at once. For the benefit of both parties, he will give half of the deposit first and the final payment after the matter is completed. Okay. Bai Xuan agreed, after thinking for a moment. Similarly, Bai Xuan will keep a cautious eye and will not trust Xianguo without reservation. Then, it's such a happy decision. I hope Eagle King can complete the cooperation as soon as possible. We will never default on the balance payment. Please rest assured, officer. Xianguo breathed a sigh of relief. The mission was completed perfectly. They don't want to stay in this ghost place for a second longer. Who can stand being stared at by those ferocious beasts? The most important thing is the giant beast Bai Xuan, which makes them feel even more afraid and even afraid. Go and send someone to deliver the things so you can leave as soon as possible. Bai Xuan saw that they didn't want to stay here any longer, so he said, okay, Eagle King, please wait for a while. It will be delivered soon. After that, the Xiango officer went to report to his superiors and then sent the resources here to end it as soon as possible and go back as soon as possible. Mr. Bai, we have sent people to deliver the resources. Do you think we have to fulfill our promise? The captain came to Bai Xuan with a medical kit and smiled awkwardly. I got it. Bai Xuan pulled out a feather and placed it on the ground. Then he gently scratched the wings with his sharp eagle claws. Blood flowed out from the scar, a full 500 milliliters, wrapped in aura, and suspended in the air. When the amount is sufficient, the wound heals at a speed visible to the naked eye and returns to its original state. This small amount of blood has no impact on Bai Xuan. Mr. Bai, just put it in here. The captain came forward holding the glass jar, excitement in his tone. Bai Xuan put the blood into the glass jar. The captain quickly saved it, put it away carefully, and then thanked Bai Xuan. Thank you Mr. Bai. It's just cooperation. It doesn't have to be like this. Bai Xuan replied lukewarmly. After a while, the Dragon Kingdom transport plane arrived first, dropped an airdrop, and accurately landed less than 100 meters away from Bai Xuan. The transport plane did not stay. After completing its mission, it left. Mr. Bai, please take inventory. The captain sent someone to pull the steel safe to Bai Xuan. Then the captain entered the password and opened the safe, revealing the dense spiritual stones inside. After Bai Xuan briefly counted them, he poured them all into his mouth. If the quantity is right, we will cooperate again. If there is a chance, okay. The captain smiled and nodded. Now that he has established a good relationship with Bai Xuan for the time being, he might be able to gain access to Bai Xuan in the future. At the same time, the captain also marveled at the size of Bai Xuan's structure. But yes, facing so many spirit stones, it is still necessary for the sake of profit. After that, the Xian Kingdom transport plane also arrived. The Xian Kingdom soldiers pulled the safe in front of Bai Xuan. The Xian Kingdom officer, like the captain, opened the safe and asked Bai Xuan to take inventory. After Bai Xuan confirmed the quantity, he swallowed it all. The quantity is correct. I will set off tomorrow, and it should be completed in about half a month. Okay, thank you Mr. Bai. By then, our final payment will be delivered in time. I hope we will have more opportunities to cooperate. Officer Xiang Jiuo smiled and nodded. Cooperation is possible, but the prerequisite is not to completely ***s me off. Bai Xuan nodded lightly. The current relationship is tense, but it is not yet at a freezing point. If the interests are sufficient, we can still negotiate. If even the interests cannot quell the anger, then the only way is to go to war. Okay, I will tell my superiors. Officer Xiang Jiuo smiled awkwardly but politely. By the way, Mr. Bai, we will deploy armed forces, but this is only to prevent the beasts from raiding. Please understand not to attack these armed forces. Afterwards, soldiers from the two countries got on the helicopter and left. Bai Xuan watched the helicopter gradually disappearing and remained silent. Today's peace is only temporary. Bai Xuan must raise his own level and the level of the ferocious beasts under his hands in the shortest possible time. At the very least, he must have the ability to protect himself. In the Far East region, Bai Xuan will never do it. Given maybe it would be good for each to be content and not disturb the other's development, but in the face of interests, who can say for sure? Humans are wary of ferocious beasts, and ferocious beasts are wary of humans. Conflict is inevitable. Everyone wants more resources, so it depends on who has more ability and strength. After the helicopter from the Dragon Kingdom and the Xian Kingdom left, Xiang Yan came to Bai Xuan alone and asked, Eagle King, what are humans doing here? It could naturally hear it, if it wanted to, but it did not do so. If you release your mental insight, you will definitely be discovered by Bai Xuan. Bai Xuan told Xiang Yan what happened. Xiang Yan was silent for a long time before he spoke. Eagle King, humans can't be trusted. Besides, do you really want to help humans deal with ferocious beasts? Not really, it's also good for us. Bai Xuan told Xiang Yan his thoughts, to prevent him from thinking too much. Gather the ferocious beasts over there for your own use, collect resources from the Far East, and have better control. The ferocious beasts will also have more time to grow, and they will be able to better stop humans in the future. Similarly, Bai Xuan can also gain more benefits. As mentioned before, Bai Xuan will do this if the benefits outweigh the disadvantages. I see. Xiang Yan suddenly understood and approved Bai Xuan's decision. By the way, now the central area and the eastern area are under your control. No ethnic group should be able to threaten you. Do your best to strengthen the ethnic group so that you can compete for more benefits in the future. Bai Xuan gave Xiang Yan the control and collection of resources from the eastern area to the sea, while letting Huzi, Rat King, and Xiang Lei control the southern area. Bai Xuan planned to provoke some powerful ethnic groups to control the western area, and the same was true for the northern area. There is no time to take care of the north yet. The Far East area is still very vast, enough for them and Bai Xuan to grow, absorbing the resources of the first and second spiritual energy tides as quickly as possible. Use your best condition to welcome the arrival of the third spiritual energy tide. Thank you, Eagle King. Xiang Yan originally wanted to go to other areas, but now that Bai Xuan has said so, he is naturally happy to see it. Similarly, it also knows that there are Bai Xuan's subordinates in other areas, and it will try its best not to conflict with them, and grow the ethnic group in the area, divided by Bai Xuan. Nowadays, the overall strength of the Earth's wild bear group is rising steadily. This is also because Bai Xuan eliminated the other two major groups and reduced their competitors. They can collect resources without hesitation, and there are not many ferocious beasts that can compete with them. Chapter 75. Conquer the ferocious beast tribe and the golden eagle tribe. The next day, Siberia region. Bai Xuan began to drive away and subdue the ferocious beasts. During this period, the Xiang kingdom fulfilled its promise, deployed its military, and stopped the ferocious beasts. It did not take the initiative to attack Bai Xuan, but waited quietly on the periphery. As long as Bai Xuan's drive is completed, they will quickly take over the Siberian area. This ferocious beast is really powerful. In just a short time, it has wiped out a lot of ferocious beasts, and the ferocious beasts that live in groups have been driven back 50 miles. Officer Xiang Guo, looking at the information and videos coming from Siberia, was amazed after seeing Bai Xuan's terrifying combat power. The middle-aged man wearing a major general uniform had serious eyes. He felt an extremely strong sense of crisis from Bai Xuan, but now he had no choice but to take one step at a time. Colonel Cote, doesn't this ferocious beast have a well-known title in the Dragon Kingdom? What is it called? Upon hearing the Major General's inquiry, Cote de Love quickly replied, the giant frost eagle is at the top of the list of ferocious beasts. You can also call it Mr. Bai, or Dabai. This is the name that was asked for in yesterday's transaction. Dabai? It's interesting. The Major General Officer, named Kadik, has a 3rd level and 2nd level rank, and is among the best among the warriors of the Bear Kingdom. This ferocious beast is very smart, and has a great plan. As long as it is given benefits, it may be able to accomplish many things. Cote de Love expressed his views on Bai Xuan. Kill it after use. This kind of ferocious beast must not be allowed to survive in the world. Kadik nodded slightly. He still wanted to kill Bai Xuan from the bottom of his heart, but now Bai Xuan was still useful, so he would keep it for now. Major General, I think we can use the sword to kill people and let the Eagle Kingdom deal with this ferocious beast. Even if we don't succeed in the end, we won't be able to find it. The ferocious beast can also enmity with the Eagle State and consume the strength of both parties. While buying us valuable time, it can also consume the strength of Eagle Nation and prepare us to become the world hegemon in the future. Cote de Love expressed his thoughts. This method killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Whether the beast was alive or dead would be beneficial to them. Dragon Kingdom is also a pretty good choice. Just act according to the circumstances. Kadik nodded slightly and agreed with the proposal, and at the same time, he also drew Long Guo into it. After all, Long Guo was also one of the 3 permanent members. Although he didn't know what would happen in the future, it would be good to use up some strength. As said before, there are no eternal enemies, only eternal interests. In the face of interests, the situation is ever changing, and whatever decisions you will make in the future will all be attributed to interests. Resources are limited. Who doesn't want more resources? By making the country stronger, they themselves will also become stronger. At the same time, Bai Xuan drove 1/3 of the ferocious beasts into designated areas. Those who could reason with them and make them obedient would be persuaded by Bai Xuan. Refused to listen could only be killed and eaten by Bai Xuan. Gain evolution points. Another 1/3 was eaten by Bai Xuan, and now only 1/3 is left, which is the most difficult beast to deal with. They have countless groups, are powerful, and some even have ferocious and unruly personalities. Bai Xuan's huge body flew in the air, and in front of him was a dense crowd of ferocious beasts. He ran non-stop towards the divided area, looking back at Bai Xuan from time to time. Facing Bai Xuan, they were still very scared. They resisted at first, but were suppressed by Bai Xuan. After some explanations and persuasion, they finally chose to surrender to Bai Xuan and obey Bai Xuan's orders. Leave the place where you originally lived and come to the divided area. It should be solved today. Bai Xuan muttered to himself. Working all the way from morning to this not only consumes physical strength, but also saliva. Today is a day when Bai Xuan talks the longest. Suddenly, an eagle's cry resounded through the sky, but it was not coming from Bai Xuan. Bai Xuan turned his head to look, releasing his consciousness to cover the entire area, and perceived the source of the sound. Golden eagle? At the same time, dozens of giant golden eagles were soaring in the blue sky and white clouds thousands of meters above the ground. The strongest ones were at the 3rd and 4th levels, and the weakest were at the 2nd and 7th levels. They were huge, like a giant golden eagle. Fighters pierced the void. The leader is a storm golden eagle that evolved from a golden eagle with a wingspan of 30 meters. Before it evolved, it was a large raptor. After it evolved, its size increased steadily, and it was much larger than ordinary flying ferocious beasts of the same realm. Most of the golden eagles following it were of wind attribute, with a few of fire attribute and thunder attribute. Such a huge force could be described as a powerful existence point. In addition, they live in the Mengu kingdom, have no natural enemies, and have sufficient food. Breeding animals such as cattle, sheep, and horses reproduce crazily after their spiritual energy is revived, and they naturally become the meals of these giant golden eagles. Coupled with the ability to fly, they can better find spiritual stones and prey, have no natural enemies, and their breeding numbers have increased crazily, and now they are overrun. It can be said that it is the overlord of the sky of the entire Mengu kingdom, and the creatures on the ground are its back garden. They hunt and eat them when they are hungry. And it's normal for them to come here. After all, it's right next door. They broke in here without much hindrance, ready to feast, hunt ferocious beasts, obtain spiritual stones, and improve their levels. The ferocious beasts kill each other, devour demon cores, and improve their own levels. It seems they are targeting me. Bai Xuan naturally would not let them eat these ferocious beasts. After all, these ferocious beasts had surrendered to him. You guys keep going. I'll go meet them. Bai Xuan flew over the leading beast and explained. Then Eagle King, please pay attention to your safety. We will wait for you over there. The leader of the ferocious beast slightly and agreed. It knows Bai Xuan's strength and has few opponents. Coupled with its terrifying size, it is full of intimidation. Facing those giant raptors, it should not be at a disadvantage point, but it was obvious that it still underestimated Bai Xuan's strength. They were just level 3 ferocious beasts, and it was easy for Bai Xuan to kill them. But it would be great to be able to subdue it. Bai Xuan currently lacks a group of flying raptors, and the golden eagle is a very good choice. After Bai Xuan said that, he shot straight into the sky and flew towards the golden eagles. Deer King, do you think the Eagle King can beat them? The leader of the Deer King is huge, with crystal clear antlers, and can run extremely fast. The antlers are also its weapons, which are extremely hard and sharp. There is a high probability that we can beat him. Then, if we can't defeat the Eagle King, should we listen to the Eagle King and leave the place where we originally lived? The Deer King shook his head gently. No, that area is no longer suitable for our survival. On the one hand, there are very few resources left. Staying there will not improve us much. On the other hand, there is the problem of human beings. It is not the same thing. To keep consuming humans, it is not good for the development of our race. Because of this, we have to go elsewhere and cannot conflict with humans for the time being. Stable development and strengthening the ethnic group are the top priorities. After hearing the explanation from the Deer King, the water scale deer asked about it. Although it was very reluctant to part with the place where it originally lived, it could only do this now. Deer King, I understand. Just understand. Let's move on. In this way, the Deer King led the ferocious beast towards the planned area. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.